What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Junk Family. I'm your host, Paul Italia. If you haven't already, please make sure to smash that like button. And we got the co host in the house, Mr. Yee Yee. What is up, brother? How are you today, man?
Life is good. Life is good. And we're all back from vacations and we're back to business. Let's go. They've been waiting for us. Let's give them what they want.
Hell yeah, man. So, yo, what did you do over 4th of July weekend? Anything good, man?
Oh man, we relaxed on the Friday, and then we had a few jobs on Friday, and then the Saturday, me and Mrs. Yee Yee took off to Bodega Bay, and got to witness some different weather over there. It was a little different, but it feels good. I actually ran into you. I seen you on the highway. You know what I mean? And, that beautiful truck, and it's eye catching.
I
I'm
thought
on.
you were I thought you were fucking with me, bro. I get a phone
Yeah.
call Saturday and it's
Mhm.
Mr. E. So I answer the phone and he's like, yo, I'm behind you right now. I'm like, wait, what? I'm looking all around and everything. He's like, no. I just went by you on the other side of the road and everything. And I was like, what are you doing over here? And you would tell me you were going to Bodega Bay. But when we got off the phone, I was with my girl and everything. I'm like, yo, do they know it's real cold and windy down there? Because,
Yeah.
real cold, right? Like,
We didn't bring any coats, anything, and we were at top. We always start at Bodega Bay Oyster Company on top, and then we go there, grab a bottle of wine and a bunch of oysters, and relax outside with the seating. But once you go down the hill, I said it just changed about 20 degrees.
yeah, bro.
You know what I
50
mean?
degree weather over there, man. We went a couple of times over there, and it's like you really got to look ahead, and it's always cloudy for some reason. I don't know why. It could
I
be
think
sunny
it's
and beautiful over in our area, and then you go 10 minutes over to Bodega Bay, and it's always cloudy and it's
Yeah,
weird.
that Sonoma coastline right there, and it's just no joke. And I think the best time to go is around August. Is that summer? Is that Indian summer? And
Okay.
those are the best times to go, August. But it's great to get on the highway and get away, and take off the uniform and take off the green glasses and take the costume off and just be Rudy.
Oh shit, Rudy comes out. Hell yeah, no
Yeah.
doubt, brother, no doubt. So we got my man Timo is trying to join backstage. I'm waiting for him to get his screen on. Oh, here we go. Let's bring them all in here. What's up, brother? How are you, Timo? Are you there, brother? Can you hear us? I don't think he's hearing us right now. You can hear
I
us?
I could see him, but I can't hear him.
Put your hand up if you can hear me, brother. Nope, he don't hear us right now.
No, you don't
All right,
hear
well
us.
he'll get that shit worked out and everything. But my man Timo, he's down south, Cali. He's over by no, he's not Temecula. He is Ventura.
I think he's in now. Can you hear us, Timo? Can you hear us?
No, no,
No.
no. All right, well he'll get it all going. Once he gets it going, he'll say something. So
Yeah.
yeah, man. So 4th of July, bro. So I kind of just laid low. We took off for the day on Friday and everything. I had a couple of jobs already scheduled for Saturday and all, so we couldn't go anywhere like away or for any drive or whatever. But Friday we had a beautiful, relaxing day. Went down by the river and soaked up the sun. Then we had that big fireworks show in Petaluma, and it turns out my house is like directly right facing at it. It was like front row seat, so that was perfect. Enjoyed that with wifey, and then like I said, Saturday we had a couple of jobs going, knocked those off, and then just kind of kicked back for the weekend and just relaxed. It felt good just to not do much and all. So, but
How does Chanel like the fireworks?
loves it, man. We when we first got her, man, it was like she was probably about 3 weeks, 4 weeks old, and we took her. It was 4th of July. We put the convertible down. We went right to the fireworks. So it's from the very beginning and everything. She was around them, never scared or anything. So yeah, she's a little trooper, man. So that was good.
Nice. That's a win. That's a good kid. That's a
Yeah,
win.
there you go. There you go. So what's up, man? What's going on now in business world and everything? What you got going on? I see this new video out there, bro. I see you ranking in the top three in your area in 1 month. Is that real?
Yeah, within 1 month, I definitely ranked up all the way in. I actually number one in my area, and reached out to rank force, and said, "Hey, I'm having a little trouble, and can you help me out?" And I said, I'm not afraid to admit it. You know what I mean? And I said, "Hey, you know, uh, you really have to go these days. we go to we shop certain places for the best prices, and that's just it. Bottom line. You know what I mean? So, I'm not stupid. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go where, what I mean, I think the better bang for my buck is, and you know, get my SEO going right, and maximize it to the fullest. I'm talking about Ultimate Warrior. Pump it up and maximize it. You know what I'm saying?
Don't
And
hurt nobody now. Don't
you
hurt
know what I mean?
nobody.
I'm trying to be the Ultimate Warrior in junk removal. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know what I mean? Yeah. If I have the budget for it, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be the guinea pig. I'm gonna try it out. I'm gonna bring it to the people, and you're gonna see if it works or not. You're gonna hear it from us.
Well, I like that, bro, because now we're getting down to the nitty gritty. We're finding out what's real, who could produce, who's putting out the results and everything. And it's just good to see that somebody's producing out there, man. And and I like how he has that guarantee within 3 months he'll have you in the top three in your area. And then to see that you signed up on it, and then in the first month, bro, you're at number one. That says something right there, man. That's somebody that knows what they're doing and everything. So we got to shout out guys like that, man. So Rank Fortress, William Jones, shout out to you, man. You're doing things right. You're getting results, and because I know right now a lot of people, man, they're holding on to the wallets right now, man, because they don't know what's real, what's not. We just had that whole big incident and with Matt Fitch out there, bro, and just took a bunch of people's money and wasn't doing the right thing by them, and now he's like MIA. And what's going on with that, man? I seen a couple of posts in the groups, and it looks like there might be some lawsuit brewing or something. Did you see anything about that?
Yeah, I seen that in a post, and if someone's taking your money, online or through accounts, it can be traced, so you can be accountable for it. So, but you know what I mean. You better get your lawyers. You better get ready for this fight because it may not be easy. But you know what I mean. You really have to watch where you spend your money these days, and that's why this show, we're bringing that content to you guys. Where you know what, we're gonna try this out, and we're gonna show you guys every step of the way, and we're gonna bring it to you guys and say, "Hey, I'm not afraid. Okay, I did it. Okay, no problem. I did it." And that's the only way to find out if these things work is to try them out. And if I got to be the guinea pig, I got to spend the Yee Yee coins. I'm gonna break the bank and do what I got to do. But if we do not get what we told we're going to get, if we do not see results, you're going to be back on the show, and it's going to be a roast session. I'm talking about 600 degrees cooking the turkey.
Well, I like it, man. I'm also I'm working with William. I'm doing the SEO plan. I'm very new in the beginning and all. I know you were in for 5 years, so I'm sure that helps you with the ranking and all. But I definitely I've been having a good experience with him and everything, and I'm waiting to see the same results. I hope I make that top three and all that, and I'll keep everybody posted, of course. And then
Yeah.
the other thing that I want to make mention is I know, hey, whoever's in the chat, let me know if you're in the chat and all that. Let me. Oh man, you know what? I'm not even. Oh my bad. I'm in a private chat over here. I don't even see
Yeah,
people
you're in
in
a
here.
yeah. I see T Rex. He's on the chat right now. I see you, baby.
All right, yo, let me shout out everybody. I'm sorry. I clicked the wrong button. And
What's
there's
going on over here?
hey Kevin Hess. What's up, brother? How you doing today, man? We got Drew. How are you, Drew?
What's up, Drew?
Representing Vegas.
What's up, Kevin?
Jamie's in the house. We got
Jamie.
Troll Hunter in the house. He says yee yee.
Troll Hunter, baby. Troll Hunter.
Oh, Kevin spoke with William this morning. Yeah, yo, Kevin, he's good people, man. He's doing the right thing. He knows his stuff, and Mr. Yee seeing the results right away. So we
I,
definitely want to report back with that.
I think a lot of people were shocked when they seen the video that me and William collaborated with, and he reached out to me and said, do you mind? And I said, no. If I'm putting my money here, I don't mind. You know what I mean? But let's make it happen and let's see if it's real or not. And within 1 month, I'm trying to tell you guys, I'm talking about. And you have to get in. I'm telling you, if you don't get in, then you call him, and then all of a sudden he says, I can't work with you because I'm already working with someone in your area. So you lost. You could be on the waiting list though, but it might
Tri-
be long.
Triple G says, "What up, yo? How are you,
Triple
Triple
G,
G?"
triple G.
T-Rex, what up, man? We had you on, bro. You couldn't hear us, man. We kept saying, what's up, brother? So if you want to come back on, try that link again and all, but we were saying something, but I don't think you were hearing us on the audio and all. But you're more than welcome to come on. Everybody else in there too. Anybody that wants to come on, let me put it in the chat right now. I'm gonna share the link with everybody. Hold on
Yeah,
one second.
we got 11 people in the room, so you know what I mean. Tap in and let's get these comments going. Let's answer some questions, and we're here. Let's go, baby.
Let's do it. And then there was other thing. Oh yeah, I didn't get to put out the mass text, man. Usually I throw out a text to
Yeah.
everybody before and all. Something's up with autopilot with the SMS campaigns right now. They're not working. So Andrew, if you're on here listening or whatever, you got to work with that, man. We got to get that SMS back up here. I'm missing out on a bunch of people that normally tune in and everything. I wasn't able to send out my text message. So
Or was it because you had like 8 or 9 jobs today
yeah, right,
and you
man.
were so busy? You know what I mean? You're so busy over there.
Oh, me? I wasn't that busy. Nah, man. I only had 2 jobs today. It was a kind of quiet day, man. I was kind of
Two
wondering
hoarder
why.
house jobs, nice. I feel it. Yes, two
I
hoarder
wish.
house
I
jobs.
wish.
Don't wish. Trust me. When you wish, it comes.
Yeah,
Then
yeah,
you got to call the Yee Yee and said, "Hey, I need you and the Yee Yees. Get over here. Let's
yeah.
go. Let's go."
All right, hold on. You talk for a minute. Let
Yeah,
me get
what's
this
up with
up.
everybody going on out there? How was you guys' holiday? Is it slow for you guys right now because of the everybody was going away for the holiday and then the big holiday weekend? Was it slow for you guys? Is your phone ringing today better than it was last week? Or you know what I mean? Be
The
real with us
holiday
and tap in. We
slow
got
for you
somebody.
guys? Was
Yeah,
your
Timo,
phone ringing today better
just
than it
shut
was
down your
last
show
week?
so we could. There you go. What's up, Timo? How you doing, brother? He
I
don't
could
hear us
hear
again.
I could hear him, but I can't,
Timo, what up, bro?
you may have to
He can't hear us. He can't hear us right
you
now.
might have to call the IT pro. You might have to call the IT pro to come back in the room and say, "Hey, what's going on with this?"
No, I think it's his side. I think his side isn't working.
Oh wow, yeah,
Yeah, no, it's not this side because he wouldn't. You guys wouldn't be able to hear me then.
yeah. I see. It's definitely he has
Oh,
his
Kevin's here too. Let's see if we can hear Kevin. Kevin, can you hear us, brother?
yeah.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Hell
Timo, you
yeah.
got to try coming out, come back in, or mess with your audio, bro. Your mic's not on. All right, he'll figure out. We'll put him backstage as soon as he figures it out. Hey, Kevin, how are you tonight, brother?
What's going on, guys?
How was your 4th of July, man? Do anything good?
It was relaxing. I saw some fireworks and a concert on for 4th of July, and then been doing some bathroom remodel over the weekend. So I actually took today off and went kayaking with the fam.
Very nice, man. That's always a good day. And Jamie says had jobs today, but I think lots of folks are slow right now. Yeah, it's like with me, it's been like hot and cold. Like last week was crazy. It went nuts. Like, and I was like, oh hell yeah. And then right after the holiday, it slowed down a lot. But I mean, I've been doing that every week. One week it's hot, the next week it's slow. So I think that's just part of being starting off.
Yeah, it's just part of the business. It's hit or miss. Mondays come, go, Tuesdays, then all of a sudden your phone rings for 6 jobs and you just start lining them up. And a lot of times, a lot of people want to knock every job off in one day when you can line them up and have, constant work for the whole week. That's the right client that you actually want who says, okay, I'll wait for you. Because a lot of us are taught or we watch videos where we have to just jump the gun and just go do the job right now. But that's like, make sure it's worth it. But you know what I mean? Make sure you get paid right. But, line them up. And so you have constant work all week.
Uh,
I don't.
Titan Junk says Matt Fitch will pay for his actions. That's all I will say. Titan, you want to come on, man? The links in the chat and everything. So I think there's something going on. Let me explain my side of everything. And Timo, can you hear us right now? Are you? No, Timo still hasn't heard us. Okay, Timo, you got to get the audio working. So whenever you can get that working. Okay, so Yeah, I'm trying to get somebody on to tell about the Matt Fitch thing. So, I had Sean Chavez was saying that he wanted to come on and all. So I hit him up, I think it was yesterday, and I seen him see the messages, but he didn't come on. But then I think you said, Mr. Yee, you told me you saw a post or something, and there might be like a class action suit going, or
Yeah, there might be a suit going or some kind of lawsuit going on where maybe he just doesn't want to talk about it over the airwaves, or what I mean, he's just El Pollo Loco.
well, something has changed, because he was all about, he wanted to come on, everybody wanted to come on and explain their story, and then when I finally set the show and everything, now everybody went MIA, and now I'm seeing lawsuits going out. So I know anything with the law, the lawyers are instructing everybody, do not say anything, do not bring this up anywhere. So I'm gonna assume that there is a class action suit going on. Kevin, do you know anything going on, man? Have you heard?
No, I've had a lot of people reaching out to me the same thing. As you know, I was one of the admins on his Facebook group.
Oh, so if you guys need to get some money right here, and Kevin's liable right here, he's his partner.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Well, one day I went to and he put me on as admin because I was doing that free online training through that site. So one day I went to post, and he encouraged me to promote my stuff as much as possible. He was encouraging me to do that, which is, rare for his group. And then one day I went to post something and it said waiting for admin approval. I'm like, say what? And I look and I was kicked off as admin. And he hasn't approved any of my posts. He hasn't replied to any of my messages, and he kicked me out as admin.
Okay. How long ago was that?
That was probably about 4 days before all this kind of blew up on the groups.
Okay, because
this was around June 15th ish, maybe. It was right around Father's Day.
Well, right at that same time, I got on the same list as you, I think, too, man, because I was able to go right through. All my posts would go right through,
and that was because of me.
Oh,
I set it up that way so that your post would go directly through without needing approval. I set that up.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. Now it all makes sense.
Yeah,
now.
he kicked me off as admin. He kicked Andrew off as admin, and there's big story behind that with Andrew as well. Because he's still part owner of that group. So, so that was kind of fucked up. But yeah, I've had a lot of people reach out to me. I unfortunately don't have answers. I talked. Matt Vick reached out to me too, is trying to get, we just have no idea. I talked to Matt, I talked to Andrew, I talked to a whole bunch of people, and really nobody has an answer.
Let's do a field trip. We'll go to Matt Fitch's house.
Well,
we'll make old content. We'll make YouTube content.
Isn't he in Texas?
Yeah.
So we'll be doing a few stops in Texas.
We'll go see Ricky. We'll go visit Ricky.
We'll be doing a few stops, and don't be surprised if you see me and Paulie on a field trip. Knocking on someone's door and just say, "We're here. What's happening? Hey, how you doing?"
We'll bring everybody with us, though. Timo, you hear us yet? Not yet. I love it.
But
Timo,
you can hear
it. Making the show great, bro.
Oh, that's your chair then. I thought that was his chair. That's your chair, huh? That I hear.
Timo, can you hear us?
You see, you can hear something. Yeah, he's frustrated. He's like, "Fuck." Yeah, man.
Yeah, we'll bring him back. I love it.
That's why I jumped on here, because he's having issues. So I'm like, well, they need somebody on here, so let me jump on here.
Well, Titan says yes, that's right. Lawyer instruction. So yes, we were right with that. Jamie says, "Hey, I was just asking because folks went to him because of me." Okay, I think I missed one of those. She says, "I am beat," and I think Matt literally said enough through AI. Got you. And Bean says, "I'm very shocked at Matt Fitch being a speaker at the expo and gaining a following of people, including me. I followed after the expo. Makes me cautious now who I trust as even a speaker." And Bean, this is something that we're going to take that is good from this situation, because what I've noticed is everybody's putting their hands on their wallets, which they should be, because, everybody's just not you know, who they say they are all the time. And this was a very good learning experience. And it's a shame that a lot of people are out a lot of money and everything, but I think this was a good experience for overall junk removal. You know what I mean? And people aren't going to be suckered. And, you know, now they're going to look into people more. And, you know, not everything you see is right. You know what I mean? And that's why we made the show here. And that's what we're trying to figure out. What's real, what's not, who's real, who's doing the legit work. And, you know what I mean? So,
yeah, it's just you
You
really
can
have.
trust me, Bean.
well, Kevin, it says enough, bro. Just you being on here all the time, bro. That's it right there, bro. I wouldn't have somebody that I didn't believe in and trust myself on my show, man. Because
Yeah,
you know,
and I was letting Bean know she can trust me.
yeah,
I'm good people.
100%, man, 100%. And Jamie says, I recommended him and folks lost a lot of money. Yeah, I mean, well, Jamie, it's not, I wouldn't put the blame on you. You know, there's a lot of people, you know, that were fooled and, you know, kind of swindled out. And, you know, but it's also, like I said, let's take the positive at it. And now we'll learn from that experience. And now we're just a little more cautious with things and we look into things. And I want to report back another thing because, you know, we didn't bring this up as well. So we just had Blake Short on, guys. And, you know, Blake is a Facebook ads guy. And I'm proud to say that Mr. Yee followed through and he's running the Facebook ads with Blake. And he's going to keep us up to date how things are going and all. So kind of run us through everything, bro, because I'm real curious about this. I've been curious about Facebook ads, kind of want to know how it all works and all. But like, how did it all start off for you and all?
Me and Blake have touched base before, and when Blake a while ago, and I just was, you know, the ultimate organic, the ultimate. I can do everything myself, but you know, as we see, that can be very hard, and you know, so reaching out to Blake, we talked, and you know, I want to stay away from Google ads and the big budgets that we have to spend on Google ads. So, you know, I tell myself I want to master all corners of this game. I want my name, I want my brand on everything that when you pop up, I want my name to be everywhere, my brand to be everywhere. So, you know, Meta is the number one in I'm pretty sure in sales and in advertising. So, why not go to one of the pros who are so good at Facebook ads and learn everything from them? And it's just like training wheels. Ask questions. You know what I mean? Have weekly calls. Make sure you monetize. You know, look at your Meta ads. Look at everything they're doing. So you just write things down, take notes, and again, Mr. Yee is being the guinea pig, and I'm putting my money out there and I'm running these ads and I want to see how it works. Is the volume going to come in? Does it work for my area? Are people really on Facebook doing this and getting jobs from Facebook? Because a lot of people, we see all of the junk guys posting. Are you posting the right way though? So why not go to the pro who specializes in this? And I don't want to just keep on posting pictures and all my junk buddies are liking them. You know what I mean? I don't want that. I want that household who says, "Babe, look at the garage. Look what this guy does. Look what that. Look at his video. He's funny." And guess what? Didn't we see his truck the other day at Costco? That's that same guy. Let's get him in here. Those are the people who I want to reach. I love all of you out there who give me the thumbs up, who support the situation because I post a lot of content, but I'm trying to expand my brand. And I felt that why not try the best? And you know, we're giving it a run.
I
And
love it.
and I'm not afraid to say it.
Yeah,
Give me
Blake's
1
good
second.
people.
I just want to say this. JT Junk, please come in here, man. The link is up above. Just go scroll through the chat, and I posted it a little above there. And please come in because I know you have your own experience, and I would like you to share that with everybody. Thank you. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, bro. I seen
No.
JT in there, and I definitely want to hear from him. And
Mhm.
Drew, just so Drew knows, because Drew's not caught up on everything. Drew's arm wrestling moderator and all, but Matt Fitch is completely MIA, bro. Jamie reached out to him and been sending him messages trying to get some answers, because kind of everybody else just felt like he's he fucked everybody over and they weren't being nice, but Jamie was trying to reach out. Well, next thing he sends him some AI video, real weird, of like just saying, like, I don't know what he was even saying, like he doesn't worry about things anymore, or it was very strange. But the way I took it, if I was out a lot of money, that you just spit in my face and you think it's funny now, that's the way
it's
I
weird.
took it.
It was basically him interviewing himself, and in the third person, it was really freaking weird.
Strange. Yeah, don't get it at all. And especially when you take so much money, we're looking, we don't have no financial involvement with him, but these people that I'm seeing 10,000, 20,000, I mean, bro, like, and that's your answer back. I mean, I would be hunting this dude in Texas right now.
Yeah.
Oh, look at it.
He did some work for me too, but fortunately it was for free, so
Yeah.
I got lucky on that.
What up, guys?
What's up, brother? How are you today, man?
Man, we're starting off with Matt. I'm jumping in here talking about Matt. Hey, you guys know I've sold like 150 copies of books with his name on the first page. That's pretty wild, huh?
Oh.
Hey, when it goes bad, people really want to see it now. So it could be a hot volume for you. You might want to double the price.
Yeah, he took $1,800 from us, and I never got any type of return. And I know that SEO is a long play, guys, but the actual traffic that was coming in through the website was terrible. And then when I got an audit report from the company I'm working with now, there was only 11 keywords and no content on my website.
Wow.
And the average duration of people staying on the website was about 50 seconds. So that's, if you guys know anything about SEO, that's terrible. That's like someone coming to your page for 50 seconds, they're leaving. They're not trying. So, dude, terrible. And I met the dude in person. I had him out on a job in person and I didn't get any red flags. So not sure what's going on with that.
Has anybody found out anything? Like, has anybody contacted the family or, tried calling the house or anything? Or
I could text him right now and see if he answers.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, do that. And you know what I mean? See if we can get a response for him and tell him to come on the show. And hey, here's a chance to. He may not, but you know what I mean? Thank you so much, my brother, for coming on and sharing this with us. Because a lot of people out there are kind of shy, nervous, but it hurts when somebody takes something from us. You know what I mean?
For sure. I mean, the biggest quarrel people had with us when we came in, right, is us like trying to sell stuff and like, hey, what are you guys doing? Because there's been so much bad taste, I guess, in the industry about everything. I actually just got told so we run in a free Discord right now. We've got over close to 500 members. Someone paid $5,000 for a mentorship from another person, and they're getting more value from our free Discord than they are from that $5,000 membership. And that's like, dude, we got to get rid of this plague in the industry. We have to, and it's by keeping integrity and delivering on our promises that we're putting out there.
Yeah. I support you. I support your situation. I think I'm a member also of your situation. Yeah.
Oh, you were in the old group. You got to get in the Discord, bro. It's popping.
Send me the link. Send me the link so I can get in the new one and post some pictures and let them know the Yee Yee supports the situation.
Your phone will be blown up. I'm just gonna let you know. It's popping in there.
It was last time.
Send me that, JT. I want to get up in that, man. I didn't know you had that going on.
Yeah, I got you.
And Jay Corbin says, if a partner sells all his shares to you and you keep him in charge of certain things, then he gets mad and tries to destroy the company. Should that guy be fired or try to work things out? Oh, that guy should be fired completely, bro. It's like, with Dana White and UFC and everything. Like, that would be like if Dana White started, playing all games after he sold it to Zuffa or something. You know what I mean? That's
I'm sure Joe Rogan would be real mad.
And I think the reason why Jake Hoban's there's a big movement going on in the arm wrestling world. I seen a little something going on with East versus West and Crazy Engen, and they know I went head to head with Engen. I went beefed with him from the beginning when everybody was afraid to, and everybody thought I was crazy, and they all were on Engen's side. But now everybody's realizing, holy shit, you were right. So crazy. Ego, man. People are nuts. That is just crazy what they're doing over there. So I want to bring up, this is real good that you came on here, JT, because that video that you put out, I felt it, bro. I seen in your faces and all, I seen exactly the feelings you were going through. And that's that big demo job that you guys took on. And when I seen how big it was, I was like, God damn, you dudes are crazy, bro. You got some balls on you, kid. Like, to even take on something like that is just nuts. But I really want you to tell everybody about the experience and catch them up, man, because I seen it in your face, bro. Like, that was real, bro. That was raw feelings right there coming out.
Yeah, first off, I got to give a huge shout out to the guy that referred us this job. His name is Daniel Bays. He's located here in our area in Texas. He's been operating for 4 years, and he's been privately supporting us from the background. He's seen all the hate we were getting on Facebook, reached out, we chopped it up, and he's like, hey man, I can't get to this job. Will you go quote it? Absolutely. I walk in. Yeah, I should have bricked, guys. When I was walking through, I kept my face, my composure, and I handled it like a G, just like, hey, Lance, this is a really big job. It's going to be between this price and this price. I'll get you over an estimate by end of day today. We're going to require 50% deposit. So we have the money to get the materials, the dumpsters out there, get the operator, all that kind of stuff. And, dude, it was scary. It was really scary. And side note, we put a hole through the building because the interior wall was like basically up against what we were demoing, and there just was no way. So we put a hole through the wall there. We bent one of the garage frame doors. This was not an easy or smooth job by any means. I actually called the guy when we did the change order because we had to add an extra $4,000 to the job, and I had to say, Lance, I'm really showing my ass right now. This is my inexperience, but we have to do a change order because there's going to be an extra dumpster and there's 40 hours of labor that I didn't account for. Could you meet me halfway for what it should cost? And guys, I'm never scared of a challenge, but in my very first
hold
month,
on, what was his reaction when you said that?
He had a sigh and he was a bit frustrated, but he understood. We had the conversation. He actually used to do junk removal 20 years ago. And now he runs an oil and gas company. So he's big bucks, big baller. And I think I was just honest with him. You know what I mean? Like, we have to be honest with our customers. And if he told me, hey, no, man, you got to stick to the price, I would have just had to bite that bullet, but it also doesn't hurt to ask. And if it was, a small junk removal job, hey, listen, eat the cost. You know what I mean? I'm not saying if you underquoted a job by $100, charge someone extra $100. This one, it was a different circumstance, but he handled it like a champ. He could have been a real asshole about it, but he was cool.
And now, what did you take from that whole thing? Like, what will you do different? Like, what would you change now, knowing what you know?
I want to try to get it in with people that already have dumpsters, but I also am now seeing the lucrative side of having a dumpster section to our junk removal company. I don't know if you guys have seen 1-800-JUNK started rolling out dumpsters, and I'm starting to see their stuff left and right. It's more of a need than actual junk removal services. But in the future, I'm going to call around for pricing on the actual dumpsters because I could have saved an extra $1,000 there. And then now I have connections with operators who can run skid steers and grapple hooks and all that kind of stuff for me and make it a little bit easier. But there's nothing really, it's more so just pricing a little bit higher and then giving them a longer time frame, right? Because I think on big jobs, it's always going to cost more than you think it's going to, and it's always going to take longer than you think it's going to. And if you communicate those things to your customer beforehand, you won't look like an asshole like I did. So
I think JT, brother, I think you're absolutely right about that. And I was talking to Matt Vick from Sonoma Strong about this, about you know what I mean, while we were on a fishing trip, and
Yeah.
he gave me some nice knowledge on you know, those big jobs. You shouldn't give them a specific date.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It should be I can get it from start here and get it done in between here. And that way you give yourself some room in case you have to go do something else. You won't
Right.
just be stuck there and having all that weight on your shoulders and head and mind fucking boggling. And we all seen it what you were going through. And I
Yeah.
want to hit on that also. Thank you so much for expressing that and just being truthful, because there's
Yeah.
so many people out there who would not be truthful. They would just show you the before, the after, but they won't be truthful. You know what I mean? And there's a
Yeah.
lot of Pinocchios out there.
Dude, it
You
sucked.
know what I
I got to
mean?
tell you
And, you
guys, we
know,
needed a couple days after that job, recovery time,
yeah,
just because of how much anxiety and how much work that went into it. Seven Figures said, ask those with experience on big jobs. That's also something I think I should have done. I
yeah.
actually,
Networking.
I have Nick from Junk Police. They do a lot of demo stuff. I could have easily called him and gotten his take on it, and he would have been happy to give it to me. I just, I was just trying to be head honcho, and it bit me
Yeah.
in the butt.
You're
Shout
Shout
learning.
me
out,
in the butt.
I want to shout out to Nick from Junk Police in Jersey, man. It's
Yeah.
funny you said that. He's one of my go-to guys too, man. Any questions I got, I always send him a text and all, because I'm very impressed with him. He's young,
Yeah.
but very got his head on right, man, for real.
Yeah. See
He
the guys
doesn't.
on.
He doesn't paywall people. He's a good dude. He's a really good dude.
I
And
want to hear from Adam on this. Adam, welcome, brother. How are you today, bro?
Thanks, dude. I'm great. Shout out to Nick as well. I like Nick. I got one of his ads on my phone like a month or so ago accidentally. Like they just reformatted, I guess, their Facebook ads. And I'm like, I sent him a message. I'm like, I don't think you want to be advertising in Central PA, do you, bro? And he was like, oh my God, they just had redone it. So he was like, thanks. I was like, well, if you get any leads in the meantime, you know
Yeah.
who to send them to. But yeah, so the big jobs. I mean, I've taken so many big jobs on the chin, bro. The one that I will never forget was for this foreclosure, and the company's name was $1 Million Fencing that we were cleaning up this property for. And me and my business partner at the time, who I had bought out in the second year of doing this because I figured out that I didn't want to do it with a business partner. Well, that's another story. But we thought it would take about 4 days. It took us 12 days to do this project. Now,
Dude.
neither of us had to take pay the first almost year that we did the company. So, like, we essentially just lost our time and our minds. But, man, you really realize how much time things take after you do them, and you have to learn the hard way. I didn't have these groups when I started because I just didn't know to look for them. I think I found most of the junk removal groups in like COVID time or after, you know what I mean? And it was like, you just grind and find. I mean, that's how I learned horsehair plaster. I'm like an interior wizard when it comes to gutting a house, and I only learned because I did it so many times.
How did you figure out the pricing and all?
Well, I mean, essentially guessing, bro. Like, I literally figured it out as I went. There were some interior demo jobs where I took a bath, dude, where it was like, oh, it's just a bathroom that I'm taking to studs, and it's just the kitchen, so that's just 2 rooms, and like that'll go quick, and I don't know, $800, like you do something like that, and
Oof.
then you do it, and you're like, oh my God, what did we do? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I think demo is definitely a different animal. It's not as straightforward as junk removal. Also, anybody that's watching this, please make sure you do your research on what licensing is required, and if you guys need permits, that is something that will bite you in the butt. It's not like
Yeah,
junk removal. So
I prefer to work demo with like GCs that I trust, like local contractors who do good work, who they pull the permits they need, they do the stuff the right way, you know what I mean? And then it makes my job a lot easier, and they know
Yep.
what needs done. Like I would never go into someone's house and they're like, hey, take out this wall, and I just take it out without having someone tell me for sure it's not load bearing. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
you can't not. I walked into a house last week or the week before where they had me come in because they wanted the interior gutted. They were going to give the dumpsters because they had some botch company come in and they took half of a load bearing wall down, and now the plaster was cracked the whole way up the living room. And it's like, I don't even know what it looks like above there, but they had it like half braced with like 2 2x4s in the one corner. And I'm like, it's just crazy.
Yep.
What's some equipment that you would want to get for demolition and all?
I do almost everything by hand, dude. I mean, I love the Honey Badger. It's like a 4-prong demo fork. I mean, I love an 8-pound sledge. You know what I mean? Like, it's just all. I love 34-inch crowbars with an L. It got to be 90 degree. Don't give me any of that bullshit curled ones. Bust your face. Anyway, yeah. I mean, that's it. I don't even need a mask half the time unless I'm doing horsehair plaster or something stupid.
Yeah, sawzall, sledgehammer,
Yeah.
pry bars, simple, easy stuff. And then
Yeah.
and then on the big jobs, you're gonna need equipment. But outside of that, it's all pretty straightforward. Make sure electrical's cut off, plumbing's cut off, that kind of stuff before you ever get started.
Russ says demo is an entirely different business. Price by square foot, which includes demo and hauling off. Most are 7 to 10 square foot.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with him. Like sheds, I have a price per square foot. Decks, I have a price per square foot. I've like gotten there more with plaster, but again, it's different in every house because some of them have the metal mesh netting, and I'm telling you, that stuff is like, you want to talk about a bad time. And it happens in some houses a lot. And
Kevin, what's your experience with demo? Have you did any kind of demo with the franchises or anything?
I have, I love doing the outdoor demo, like he was saying, sheds and things like that, decks, whatever. But the interior demo, I know how to do it. I know how to do it well, but I won't do it because there is so much liability. There's so many issues that could happen. When I go to houses and they want me to remove a refrigerator that has a water line to it, I'll tell them they'll have to call a plumber to do it. I know how to do it. I can do it in 15 seconds. But I've had people that tell me, "Oh yeah, you're gonna just cut it. The water's off and everything else." I cut it and water fucking flooding their basement and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I've had people, some of my guys disconnect a washing machine. They say, "Oh yeah, the water's off, no problem." He did it, freaking water pouring everywhere. Tried to do it, the faucet handle broke off. Their freaking apartment is flooding. And it's the next thing you know, we're paying them, $3,000, and it's I can do demo, like I said, it really well. I just demoed my whole fucking bathroom over the weekend, but I'm not going to do it just because of the liability. That's the interior demo. Outdoor demo, I'll do it all day and night. That's it's fun. You get your frustration out and just sledgehammer the shit out of a shed.
Sheds and some saws and some jacuzzis, baby.
Yeah.
Now
So
we're
those
talking
those are fun to demo. But interior, there's just like JT was saying there, they're between the plumbing and electrical, and and a lot of places, if you're not licensed for that, you can get in trouble on the back end, especially if you fuck something up. It's that liability is just gonna kill you if you're not doing it right.
What's the deal in California, Mr. Yee? Do you know anything with demolition? We need any special licensing for California?
You don't really need any special licenses when they're small jobs and you're not touching gas, electrical. If you're doing, backyard demoing, it's on you, but you want to, make sure nothing's connected to power, like you said, hot tubs. But, a lot of us in junk removal, it's very hard for us to say no sometimes. And, we all want the big jobs. We all want this, but sometimes there's a lot that goes with that. And, so what we do over here is we do light demo. If you want me to take off your kitchen countertops, no problem. You know what I mean? But you know, when you want us to start taking off, like I've been to jobs before where out here in Northern California, we have multi-million-dollar mansions on with vineyards and stuff, and they say we want this whole demo wall. We want that walk-in freezer gone. We want all the marble flooring on the front steps to be gone. We want all this, and I'm just like, yeah, this is not my job because first I'm gonna be here for too long. Second, you know what I mean? I don't even want the liability for this, and two, it's not even worth it. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna be here too long. And I rather just say, hey, you know what? I can reach out to one of my contractors who does this. They have teams, and we can get you a dumpster and rent it out, and you can go with them. And of course, I tell my contractor, I'm gonna need 20%. But you know what I mean? And I'd rather just leave it there. And when it comes to redoing my upstairs, my contractor got nothing but love for me.
See, I hear all you guys saying that, and now I'm interested, man, because none of you want to do it, and I want to be that go-to guy like that, because I think that's where the biggest. That's why I'm.
There is
like, I'm
there is
always
a
hot
lot of
tub,
money in
man.
it. I mean, if you talk to do you guys know Andrew Barton? He does,
I think
he
so.
does junk removal. He does a lot of contractor work. He does a lot of demo, but he has the machinery for it.
I've seen him.
He's a 7-figure guy. He does
Mhm.
a lot, and a lot of it I think is mostly from the demo part. But
Yeah.
he's also licensed to do that. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of junk removal companies that do really, really well at demo work is because of their contractor background.
Yeah.
They have a
There's
background as a contractor. They're not just learning it as they go. But if you have a background in that, you can utilize that in junk removal and you can make some really good money.
yeah,
See, I
there's
want to get
something.
all the equipment, like you guys are saying, man. Like I would want to make that like my specialty. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of guys are doing the dumpsters. I think that all these kind of like ties together and can kind of work together in a way. And I think it just separates us a little more than all the other junk removal companies. And that's what I'm more interested about is what can I provide that's going to get a whole new clientele that, I'm not competing with all the other guys with, because it's just a
Right.
race to the bottom otherwise. It's like when I seen JT doing that, I'm like, yes, it was hard at first and everything. You got to learn the pricing and all. But once you got that pricing, I would think there's a lot more meat on the bone and a lot less competition that you got to be like penny pinching. You know what I mean? Like, what do you guys think? Am I right with that or not really?
No, you're on the money. The thing is it's just another aspect of it, right? It falls under the junk removal industry. What I was going to say in the pricing, there are demo companies that do not do the haul off. So if you're a company that does the demo and the haul off, that's where that like money meets and where you have potential clients because I was looking around the property and he has things that need to be junk removed as well. So,
Yeah.
like I did the job, did it well. Hopefully he'll call us back for the junk removal. It can be a pain in the butt, but like we were talking about earlier, the bigger jobs require more tools, more labor. We know that. That's nothing different in business. It's just and I've even thought after doing this job, maybe I should just go study and get my general contracting license. So maybe I'm a little bit more prepared.
Yeah, good luck on that. That takes a lot of money and courses and training and all.
That's
Man,
okay.
you gotta go through hula hoops. I've tried to do the same thing myself. I
Yeah.
said, hang on, I could be a GA.
Yeah.
I could do this. I could be a
Yeah.
GC. I could do this. But
Yeah.
after California regulations, how much we have to pay and training, I said, F this. I rather deal with a contractor who does this. And so many contractors don't do demo. That's why
Yeah.
you go to houses and they have all the demo in the garage or backyard or side of the house after they got their house redone because the contractor's like, I don't even touch the demo. Just have somebody come get it, or you rent the dumpsters, and they don't do that. But
Yeah.
like JT said, it is an avenue where you can get more money. But I suggest that you reach out to a general contractor who's licensed and insured, and he can show you that. So therefore, when you have a client that says, "Hey, can you demo my whole bathroom? I want this going. I want that going. I want this going." Yeah, let me call in my demo team, but he's really a general contractor. That's all you have to say. He's licensed and insured. Yeah, no problem. You know what I mean? Have him come out, you know what I'm saying? Meet and greet and everything. And if you get 20% of the job, that's a win.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And
You know, with
hang on. And also you save money because you showed up with your trailer.
there you go.
And you know what I mean? They threw everything in there and you made money also on that. So smarter, not harder.
Yeah, I think that's a good talking point too. This is something I've been trying to iterate to our guys in the Discord. Um, there's a symbiotic again, there's so much work out there, guys. So if you start getting a bunch of leads, sometimes the answer is not always to buy more equipment and grow. Why don't you find someone that you can trust to sub the work out to? Hey, you keep 60%, I keep 40. They're still taking care of the dump fees, and you're getting paid to just hand them the jobs. So that's anyone in the chat. If you're in that at that point, Jackie and I have had a lot of that this last couple months. We found this young kid who started a company, super cool kid, really good at what he does, listens to us all the time. So we fed him like $4,000 worth of work this last month, and he's crushing it. You know,
Check. Go. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say you can do it with demolition too, like Mr. Yee said.
In the beginning, I used to do a lot of tree removal. I used to do a lot of tree removal with my conservation background. You know what I mean? California Conservation Corps, which I, you know what I mean, got my certificate. And I used to do a lot of tree trimming, tree removal. But one day I met this guy who was like, hey, he was like at the landfill. He's like, hey, I own a tree removal business. I'm licensed and insured. I can help you. You don't even have to do that job anymore. I could do it for you, but you'll get a piece too. And I said,
yeah,
so,
dude, tree trimming suck. That's my least favorite job in junk removal. It's anything with branches, bro.
Now I know why I like you so much, Mr. Yee. You like tree trimming. I like growing trees.
Yeah. I used to like sampling too. Like a DJ, sampling like a DJ.
Denise says, we do demo all day long. We were and still contractors for past 26 years. Nothing my husband cannot do, and we have the equipment. Denise, tell us about the equipment. What kind of equipment do you guys have, and what makes it easier? E42 Bobcat every day. So Josiah is 16 years old. Let us all feel bad because he's going to kick us in and say, well, bro, I'm 16 and I've done a 6,500 double wide in one day. So anytime when we're all like second guessing if we could handle this, just remember Josiah is 16 years old. He's knocking them out like nothing, guys. So
just Josiah's that's a very, very powerful name in the Bible.
Yeah, the fact that he's 16 years old and asking about CAC, like I feel like 90% of the junk removal company community doesn't even know what CAC is. Like that's crazy.
So
yeah,
sorry. Keep going.
Oh, good.
No, he's definitely learning a lot, and he'll learn even more if he comes to the Junk Expo, and he'll definitely touch in with and he'll definitely meet the family that he has so many brothers and sisters he doesn't even know about.
Russ says, remember, you start adding services you take away from the others. Not easy to run a full-scale multi-truck junk and demo crew. Plus, California likely has tons of demo requirements. Yeah, I gotta look into that. The reason I was interested after hearing Nick from Junk Police, man, like, when you talk to him, they're doing both of them together and they're just crushing it over there with that. And, that's when I started thinking, because with the demo, it's like you could charge more. I said this already, but that's just what I'm thinking, Russ. But you're right. I would definitely look into California and see what licensing and what they're gonna bend me over, because I know in California anything they do, there's like 10 different fees that are gonna go along with it.
The money's not the problem. It's the training, the permit you have to go through hula hoops and do all this, and it's just time consuming. That's all. The money's no problem. I'll pay for this, 2,500 for that, 2,000 for that, 200 for no problem.
But I like the training shit, man. That's what makes me understand everything. So I want that kind of stuff. Backroad Bound says, we did a garage demo and cleanup. Took 3 of my 30 yards, $6,500. Sub mini X loader work, $2,000. Dump fee $600. Cleared 3,000 in 4 hours, and all I did was have to move my dumpsters. That's what's up, bro. Hell yeah. What area are you in? And if you would like to join, man, come on and join. Tell us all about it. We have a link up at the top. I could share it again because it's probably way up there in that by now. Let me see.
I think junk removal and dumpster rental is brother and sister. And you know what I mean? If you're going to get into this, get into it small and then grow. Don't just go out there and get this equipment and cry about it when it's just sitting there.
Well, you know what makes sense for me with Mr. Yee, why it makes sense with the dumpster and junk together, because the dumpsters makes sense to have a yard that it's paying for your place and all. So that's, when you just have the junk removal, you're kind of just wasting, paying that money to have that location. You're actually putting that location to use. And then if you even do it better and you actually buy the real estate, I think that's the smartest move right there.
Yes,
if
of
you're in that
course.
position, that would be the way
If
to go.
you're in that position, or if you're finding a lot that you can have all of your trailers at, and you're
Uh,
still paying, but
hold on.
prices.
Hold on, guy. No, we lost it. I thought we had him, bro. Timo, I think, was back. He was finally on,
Okay.
bro. I'm so I didn't mean to cut you off, Mr. E, but I thought we
No,
finally were
no. I wanted to
successfully
I
bringing
wanted
Timo
to
on.
say it to Justin. I mean to JT is that dumpster, maybe get another trailer and start with that and see and just advertise it. You'll be surprised because every week I rent my trailers out 2 or 3 times a week, and it's
Yeah.
just part of your menu now. You're
Yeah.
just like I tell people, if you can't afford the lobster, how about the steak? How about the chicken? How about this? I'm throwing them out so many freaking options.
Yeah.
It's hard for them
100%.
to tell me, oh wow, but oh wow, he does that and this and that. Okay, well, how about you just drop the dumpster off? And I love same day drop off and pickups. That's
Yeah.
how we accommodate our clients and go out of our way for our clients, that we'll pick it up the same day also. And
Yeah.
that is so important because they're like, I want that thing off my property by the end of the day. No problem.
See,
100%.
most
Yeah.
people don't do that. Normally, you got to wait a couple of
Mm-mm.
days. So that service that's killer right there. Cisco
Yeah.
says that's how I get several big cleanups, especially from investors and flippers. They usually have crews that come in specifically for certain things. Demo and hauling usually is what they don't do. So yeah, it's a good way to get your foot in the door. And I think this is the answer toward Jamie, because Jamie was asking how much more is the insurance, and back Road says up to $7,500 in Louisiana, no general contractor license required. So it is definitely an investment that you're going to be putting in there. So it's gonna, if you pay that money, you're definitely going to want to get that
Well,
business going.
you're in a lot of risk when you get into demo. There's a lot of risk, and that's not even at the landfill. That's on people's personal property. So
Yeah.
that's where Toby might help you out right there. There's a plug.
Shut
don't
out
know that I
Toby
would-
Stubbs.
Yeah. I don't know that I'd ever do demo in people's houses either. Like this one was in a big open warehouse too. So
Yeah.
there wasn't a lot of stuff we could mess up. We messed up the one thing we could mess up, and it is what it is. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
yeah.
Yeah, I would have done the same thing.
So-
I would have definitely
so-
done something in a warehouse.
So my brother, did you have to replace the wall? Or did you go
Yeah.
through your insurance company and say, shit,
Mm-mm.
my rates are
No.
going to go up. I'll just pay for it myself. Don't worry. I'll come and
Yeah. Yeah,
Thank
so
you
we
for that.
actually, the guy that connected with us, he fixed it, but then they didn't, they want the specific panel. So now we're waiting for that specific panel to come in. It literally takes 5 minutes and a couple screws on the outside to put it where it needs to go. Again, I was stressing though. Like I was very anxious about the hole, like, cause the hole happened like halfway through the job. And I'm like, whole time, I'm like, I know I'm going to have to fix that. Like that's going to be on me. And I have insurance. Like they went through all the things to make sure that I was legally allowed to do the job, right? So, we have the insurance. It's there if we need it. But from some other business owners, I've been told, hey, if you can take care of it out of pocket, go that route. And
Yeah.
it's a metal building though, so it's just a sheet of metal.
Yeah, I had some guys actually.
Sorry.
I had some guys actually demoing some cubicles once, and the guy went back with his sledgehammer, big Samoan dude. The tip of the sledgehammer fell off, went through the window, and then
Oh,
outside and hit a windshield of a Beamer. So it was like, it was the funniest thing. And I'm like, he called me in that. I'm like, really, a fucking Beamer? Come on.
Yeah. Hey, at least it wasn't a person. Hey,
Yeah.
you got lucky.
But it went right through the back window and then right through a windshield. It was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So Russ says, and I want you to answer this, JT. He says, issue with that is when the client pays you late, but sub wants to be paid at end. You have to have a bank account to float it. Most demo and commercial is net 30. So yeah, you gotta have funds in the bank account. So it might not be the best of things for guys just getting out, starting off, and everything. You might want to
Absolutely.
that up.
But not
And you
all
guys-
jobs are going to be net 30.
Yeah, and if you guys watch the YouTube video, like we said, we got a 50% deposit, which is about $8,200. We still ended up coming out of pocket about $1,000. So that for some people, especially if you're starting out, if you only have a couple $1,000s in your bank account at a time, and you're trying to work through other jobs, and you have to have your dump fees and all that kind of stuff, yeah, it's definitely something that you have to be mindful of. Bigger jobs could sink you quick, for sure.
So Denise is answering because I was asking her what equipment to get, and she says need a Bobcat for exterior demo, jackhammer for tiles, demolition hammer with chisel bit. So I think when you get that Bobcat and all, now you could go and get that easy, low hanging fruit kind of jobs, and that's what I keep thinking. Plus, I always wanted a Bobcat. I think that'd be the coolest thing to have on my own.
And any skid steers can be used for multiple jobs. Like you could do dirt jobs. You know what I mean? Like if you got to move low dirt and take it to another location, like instead of hand jamming all of it.
Explain what the difference is between a skid steer and a Bobcat. That's the one where you
Bobcat is a Bobcat is when you're sit inside of it.
Yeah.
But skid steer is when you're standing in back of it. But they also have
that's a mini skid steer. Bobcat is actually just the brand of a skid steer.
Yeah. So skid steers, you sit inside of it. You can get an excavator, a mini excavator. So they're all, and it's for everyone here. That's all equipment that you can go rent. By the way, Home Depot has rentals for skid steers and mini equipment, mini excavators, and then there's some other companies. But yeah, Bobcat's just the brand.
And there's also the skid steers that have detachable other things that with the claw. Like if you're doing
claw is awesome, man. I have so much fun with those.
Like if you're if you were doing a tree job and you just had to pick them up and put them into your trailer, but kind of hard with mine with the 4-foot walls. So
how much do they go for? How much is like a skid steer or a mini skid steer?
You're looking
as much as your dump truck.
Yeah, you're looking at
really that much.
Yeah, they're expensive.
Well, you got to look at them and watch the hours that they've been operated on, and then have they been, we take care of all of our shit, right? I'm guessing.
Right.
So my truck has all of maintenance paperwork from day one, and it's only from the Chevrolet dealership. My trailers have all the paperwork from the dealership I bought them on. Everything is documented. So if I ever decided to sell my trailers, which I'm never going to do, I still have all my papers work that documentates everything I've done to my trailer, even my tires. They're all from Les Schwab, because I just don't go to those secondhand stores for tires because you keep on going back.
Yeah.
So before I say what Russ says, Timo, can you hear us right now? Yeah, baby. Yeah. Now, can we hear you though? No, we're halfway there. Though. At least you can hear us, bro.
It's okay.
We just gotta get your audio on.
It's
now,
okay
man.
if you're deaf. It's okay if you're deaf. Don't worry. If you're deaf, first junk removal deaf guy, hey, whoa, there you go, my brother. You know what I mean?
So I got to bring this up with Russ because I believe Josiah was asking questions above. He says, I'd be willing to be 95% of the community has no clue that CAC costs, AJS, revenue, repeat business, ad spend, and ROAs. So who wants to start off and take this? Who takes care of their numbers? JT Solutions, I think you are one of those big time number guys. So kind of explain what your numbers are looking like right now.
Sure. So I'll explain each one of those just so people know exactly what we're talking about. And then I'll get into some of mine. I'm pulling up my CRM now.
So the first one, that is your customer acquisition cost, right? How much it is to get it. Okay.
How much it costs to acquire a customer, right? And it takes a lot to figure out that information. You're not going to have it right away, especially if you don't have some of these other numbers. Our CAC averages between like $35 and $40. And the reason being is we do a lot of free advertising methods where we headhunt work. So when I have, 2 or 3 jobs a week where it's a free customer, a brand new customer that I acquired for free, that offsets some of my spending costs on, advertising, right? Average job size. Last time I was looking at it was in the 800s, which is really, really high for junk removal. We've been doing a lot of commercial lately. Let me check it out real quick.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
commercial
that is
usually
insane.
commercial usually skews that AJS for a lot of people. That's
Yeah.
why I was telling you, Paul, about that one time. You know, if you really, really want to get dialed into your performance
Residential.
KPIs, measure your residential average job size.
Yeah,
That'll really,
I want
if you can get 66% of your full load rate with the residential, all your other numbers are going to fall into place.
that's what I was about to say.
Nobody else does that. They
Yeah.
only track the regular AJS. And like I said, you know, commercial is always going to skew that. But, you know, and if you can get, even if you're doing 70%, you know, 800 is still awesome when you're talking about AJS. But if you want to really get dialed in, track that residential AJS. And if you can get 66% of your full load rate, you're doing fucking awesome.
Yeah. So, and I have both those numbers. So right now, with all of them combined, we're at 832. And then our residential side, it's 467. Anything from my understanding in the industry, like prime is like 400 and above is a good for residential, between $400 and $500. Now,
it
revenue
depends on what your full load
market.
rate is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, revenue, you know, ours has been growing every month. Last month, we hit a $40,000 month. We actually would have been at 52,000 if we had that other payment come in before the end of the month. So I'm not going to count it as our first 50K month. Repeat business is also very important. So we track that. This last month, I think we had about $7,000 in repeat business. Our ad spend varies. On Google Ads, we spent $2,300. We've been trying to get into the game and get that set up. But our return on that ad spend was only $100 like $100. We broke even and then added 100 to that. And so all those things that he's talking about, like Kevin said, it's KPIs, right? Your key performance indicators. If you guys have this all on a sheet, those key performance indicators will literally tell you where your leaky bucket is. So, you know, like let's say you're tracking how many jobs you're doing, your average job size, and your revenue. If you see you have 20 leads come in and you sell 10 of them, you have a 50% close rate. Now, if your average job size is 250, there's two ways that we can bring your revenue up. Do we increase prices or do we increase the amount of people we close? Or there's a third option. You can increase the amount of leads and keep your closing rate the same. And it's literally that simple when you guys have your numbers, by the way.
And I think you can documentate this on, you know, Google Docs, Excel, and it could be, you can documentate all this for free. You don't have to have these things.
Oh yeah,
where you gotta pay for.
I have a huge automated spreadsheet that I made that documents, you know, I have everything on there: revenue per hour, you know,
Hey
revenue per
guys, I
mile.
just need you to hold on one second. I'm trying to get other people in here because they're backstage, but my mouse isn't working and I can't do. I'm like frozen right now, so I just letting you guys backstage. I'm trying to get you guys on. My technical person's right here working on the side, so you guys continue talk. We're working on the background to get you guys on.
What's up, technical person?
What's up, Nicole? Why don't you ever have Nicole on?
Yeah, what's up, babe?
Are you ashamed of her? Are you ashamed of her? What's going on, Paul?
Bro, I keep asking her to come on, man, and she's still not ready yet. But I gotta say, man, she's starting to become more lively in front of the camera. And
well, let me tell you, Nicole helps me out a lot also on a lot of things, and she helps me troubleshoot things, and she does a lot. And you know, I mean, she takes care of Paulie and Chanel. You know,
Jackie would be on more, but she'll tell you that I don't ever shut up, so I never give her a chance to talk. I'm really bad about it. Russ asked if I'm running. I'm wondering if he's asking me specifically if I'm running my ads myself. I'm not. I actually found a guy who runs NBC sports ads. He works with them and he's working with me privately. We have had our Google shut down for the second time now, and we are suspended currently and trying to work through the appeals process. If anyone's ever
is it a hard suspension or are you down? You're not listed right now.
I'm not listed. I'm not listed.
Okay, so I know what's up, man. It's a hard suspension, and they're gonna tank your listing now. It's gonna take you 2 to 3 months. You got to just keep doing everyday SEO posts, but you're gonna be 20 plus. They start you at the beginning again.
Yeah, that's all good. You know, even though people don't believe me, we get 90% of our jobs from Instagram. So, I'm just going to keep it rolling. But, I'm trying to diversify our portfolio so we can be like the big dogs.
Well, you're the only guy that it really wouldn't affect. Just like you said, man, you guys figured out all the other algorithms, and you're not going to suffer from it. But I definitely, I learned from that, and it hurts bad. Like
Yeah,
you definitely.
sucks.
What did you get suspended for?
They keep saying that we have deceptive content, but the thing about it is they don't tell you what exactly is wrong. And I've gone through the guideline like 15 times, and there's nothing to say. There's not everything is legitimate. I have all my business filings, everything's up to date. I have my insurance. I'm branded. I have stickers on my truck. Like, I really
JT,
don't know what it is.
are you working with anybody to help you with that?
Yes, we do have our SEO team is working through the process with us. Off with their heads if they can't figure it out. On to the next one.
Well, we might be able to help you. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. It'll all buff at the end of the day.
Well, I want to introduce a couple people on here. We got Back Road Bound, and we got Timo in the house. What's up, everybody?
Let's go. What up?
Can you hear me now, Paul?
Yo, Timo, we finally, brother, we're connecting right now, man. I love it, bro.
Yeah.
We got it all worked out.
I had to chase down the guy that stole my speakers, man. The fucker was down the street.
So what's up, brother? Tell us about your business, where you located and all.
T-Rex Express Hauling. I'm out of Ventura, California. Started in LA. So I'm kind of backwards than what people do. Came to Ventura back more to raise kids in school, but all the business was in LA. Now I'm just tired of commuting that 101, 405, if you guys know.
Yep.
Holy moly. And so I'm trying to slide the business this way. It's been a challenge, but it's growing slowly but surely. I heard the conversation about demolition earlier, and I'm pretty big on demolition. I do have a construction background. Now trying to look into grabbing that GC like Yee Yee is scared to do. But yeah, I finally got hit up by a custom home builder on my last demo job. And he said he really liked the way we worked. We operated, we went in, we gutted stuff out. We demoed a exterior fireplace. Really cool. You slide the back door and it's the ocean. So it was a really cool job. And he's like, hey, look, dude, turn in your invoice. I know this one was below the table, but moving forward, if you want to grow, if you want to keep getting work out here, you're going to need a G or a license. So it kind of
What's the process, and how long does it take?
From what I know, or the research I've done is, you got these contractors license schools, and usually you sign up with them. There's online classes, there's books, there's some that mix it all together, and you're just pretty much getting quizzed and studied. I guess because of my construction background, a lot of the stuff I'm familiar with, a lot of the people have a lot of trouble with the law portion, but it's not something crazy. I mean, straight up, I got some homies that are not smart at all that have passed that test.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing is that you guys have construction background. So that's the requirements of getting a general contractor license. A person like me has never done construction, does not have the background. So I have to go work for somebody to have that timing.
Bro, did you used to play in a sandbox growing up?
Nah, I was always counting money. You know what I mean? On the corner.
Hey, Yee Yee, there's a huge loophole, bro. You just go to the homie in the corner, and he signs off for you, and all of a sudden you work 15 years construction, and then you pass the test, and you're good.
I know.
Yeah, but it does take some commitment. The last time I tried it was years ago, but unfortunately at a job I got switched to a night shift. Just my luck. And I couldn't complete the school. Never really thought I was going to need it again. And now here I am. I mean, to grow it. But I'll tell you this much. The jobs I've done, demolition, they're good money, man. They're in and out. And they're good money. You guys were talking about Bobcats. This one, to me, works for trash removal or demolition. I don't know if you're familiar with the MT100 Bobcat. It's a 3-footer. It's a 3-footer that you can fit on the side gates.
Yeah,
And
they're the
in the back. I'll take that one with me.
they rent
And,
those out a lot. They rent those out a lot.
you get the claw attachment, and you're fucking grabbing stuff. I mean, it's probably, I'm gonna say 2 wheelbarrows per grab. So you're kind of doing runs. My setup is a switch and go system, so I can drop the bin, so the Bobcat can reach it. I'm in and out pretty fast, man. Big piles.
So does that switching go kind of a little bit harder if you're doing a job in like downtown LA or somewhere where that trailer, all that is just so.
No, the switch and go is exactly like having a dump truck, like Paul's. The only difference is that you can release the bin, so you have a dumpster.
Yeah, nice.
So there's times it's backwards. It works better because there's times that I can't really get the truck in, or they don't want the truck in. So what I do is I release the bin in, and then I go find parking, and then I do the job, and then I just slide back in to grab the dumpster and go.
Would you prefer more in the future, maybe a hook lift?
Yeah. After doing some research, I definitely think that the hook lift is better than the switch and go. The only difference is that you're talking 15, 20 grand difference. So for the long run, hook lift, to get by, to get a C- in the class, just switch and go.
Yeah. No doubt. But they have so many now. You don't have to go with the diesel. I mean the international or the big or the American. You can go NPR hook lift.
I have an NRR.
Yeah,
So
NRR.
The NRR, you can do the switch and
has a
goes.
little bit more, So it works perfect. And I started with 3 dumpsters. I invested back in. I'm up to 10. So I play both roles, the rental and the junk removal.
So maybe you can help JT out right here. Which size cubic yard dumpster rental is the hottest? Like the 10, the 15, the 20?
And hold on, before you answer that, I just want to make mention. Hey, bro, Charlie's here. Show some respect, bro. Charlie the Troll is in the house right now, and he's going after our man JT right now for whatever reason. So.
You cut us off for that guy? For that
bro,
tuna?
Everybody's got to know what's going on inside right here. But
just don't say the other lady's name because she'll show up. Every time you say her name, she shows up.
What's her name again? Was it Michelle?
Candyman.
Maria. How can I forget that? Maria. Where's Maria?
She'll be on in a second. Charlie's actually Maria.
Okay, my brother. My brother, go ahead, finish that, please.
All right. So this is what's up, bro. With I think everybody wants the 20-yarder, but with my experience, when you dump them the 20, these rat bastards load it to the top and they hide the brick. At the end of the day, you're 4 or 5 tons in, and it's a nightmare, bro. I've had my truck lift the front wheels a couple times. You figure out ways to maneuver stuff that you get by, but I don't even like to talk about the 20 unless it's junk removal, but I shoot them the 15. The 15 is popular because even if they do get a little bit out of hand, you will pick it up. Unless they just load it with dumb stuff. But
guys, hold on one second. I don't know who's in the room, but their name is Fuck Matt Fitch, and their room is black. Who is that? Is that Matt Fitch? Could that be?
No, that's Sean.
Sean Chavez, my man. So this is the guy that was airing everything out on you were the leader, kind of getting the crusade going with Matt and all that. Are you able to talk about that at all, or is there something going on that prevents you from talking about it
or showing your face?
So I can answer a few questions, but as far as naming anybody else, there's a lot of people that don't want to be.
Are you in Matt Fitch's basement tied up right now? Are you safe?
No. Oh, I'm safe.
Okay.
Matt Fitch is lucky I don't live in the same state.
So my guy, let us know the beginning, what's going on, what happened, and how's it going?
All right. So from the beginning, like everybody else, I joined these sites, people are always asking questions, who do they recommend for SEO, websites, busy, blah. After doing my due diligence and, having a few discussions with a few people, Matt Fitch just happened to be the guy that I hired, and that was July of 2024. He agreed to do some things to my website. We agreed on price. He agreed to do SEO for me monthly. We agreed on the number. And for a while, I was getting reports, but the reports kind of looked, they didn't look accurate to me, but I've never seen reports like these before, so I'm not sure how exactly they should have looked. I kind of put more trust in him than, maybe I should have. But then again, a lot of these people on these forums, they praise, guys like, Matt Fitch and other guys that are, in the SEO and website business. And some of them are not even in the States. Some of them are, Canada and, all over the world. And, but they work with a lot of junk removal companies, in the States. So long story short, a couple weeks ago, Jamie had made a, post saying, "Where's Matt Fitch?" And for like the past month, maybe 2 months, I've been wondering. I've been, shooting him messages, asking him if everything's okay, if there's any progress, and I've heard nothing. And then, like everybody else, just as soon as I made a post, I just get bombarded with messages with, countless other people that, I'm probably over 10K invested. There's people that are nearly 30K, 40K, 50K. Easily. Yeah, and they're showing me receipts. They're showing me screenshots of emails, sent back and forth. The last communication I had with that fucking douchebag is, he told me to, because I messaged his wife on Facebook, and I sent her a friend request, and I just said, I don't know if you know what your husband is doing, but there's a lot of people that are looking for him right now, and there's some questions that need to be answered. And I didn't get no response. The next day, I will admit, the next day there was $950 refunded to my bank, but that was it. That was probably for the month of June, because that's when all this fucking shit blew up. So,
And then
that's my
what
story.
what
There's a
did the
bunch of
wife
people.
what did the wife say to you, man? Are they giving you any
No, she said nothing. She said nothing at all. I'm not sure if she even read the message. The morning after that, I got a message from him saying, stop harassing him, don't harass his family. And what am I trying to extort him for? So this guy's like trying to play the fucking victim now. And, I don't know how that goes when you rob. Like, if I was like a lone wolf, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Somebody probably could call me out by now, but there is countless others. You know what I mean? If you see the posts that I make, people, some of them are scared to come out. They'll just say following. They won't really get into it, but I'm just the
Sean,
type
let
of
me ask you,
motherfucker.
brother, when you seen that video that he put out with the AI and all, what did you take from that?
The guy needs fucking help. He needs
It
help.
made no
ass
sense.
whooping.
It just was like I took
It's
it
just
as
like
like
I don't even know what
in
the
the face, like laughing at us, kind of like.
yeah, kind of like the fuck you. You know what I'm saying? But I don't understand if he knows how things work. You know what I mean? And just because you don't have a contract, set up, there's many, countless emails, text messages, and phone records, communication with me and many other people. So I don't understand if he knows how things work, but if he doesn't straighten out soon, there's gonna, this guy could probably lose everything that he has. You know what I mean? I don't know if he's in the middle of a divorce. I'm a very compassionate person. I'll show screenshots if I could. May I hit him up? Hey Matt, is everything good? Yeah, man, everything's good. The team's working on a few tasks. I'll fucking circle the boat with you on Monday. Monday came, never got any communication. Beginning of June, as soon as he took the payment, it was like June, maybe like 13th. I reached out to him again because I got no report for fucking May, and he already took the money for June. And again, yep, everything's cool. And then a few days later, that's when everything blew up on Facebook, and then people started messaging me. Some people are afraid to come out because they want to get everything, off his server before whatever they paid for. I have 43 pages on my site, and what I paid for, I'm supposed to have over 100. I'm supposed to have, over 50 backlinks or 100 backlinks. All the work that guy said he was doing, he did squat. They're all fake reports. I don't know.
Hey, at
He
least you
scammed
got
the fuck
reports.
out
I
of
never
everybody.
got reports.
Really?
I asked for a report. He said, "Look at your Google console." And I'm like, I don't understand what I'm supposed to be looking for. That's why I pay you. So
Yeah.
I did text him like I had told you guys I would. I said, "What's going on with the drama, bro?" His response was extortion and defamation. They're mad I won't engage, so they waste their energy spreading lies. I don't know if you guys know who Liver King is, but like it seems like he's doing the same thing Liver King's doing, where he's just being very cryptic and not avoiding the issue. So
not incriminating himself through.
Also,
the problem that you're all going to have that used him is you guys can all get together and put a class action lawsuit against him, and you can spend all of this money, and he's going to go to the attorney and he's going to say, I'm going to file for bankruptcy, and everything that you have and you've given him will never be returned. You guys have wasted that money. It is gone. It is set on fire. It's never coming back. Take the turn and just move on. Don't dwell on it. You're never going to get anything out of him because the bankruptcy laws will just basically make it so that he can file bankruptcy, take everything you have. Now, if he did it criminally, you might be able to get him on RICO charges and some other stuff like that criminally, but you're not going to get any money out of him any other way because he doesn't have any money.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think it's a learning lesson for everyone in business, right? Because these are the types of risks that we all take, right, when entrusting people and helping them grow our business. And you have to do your research. And Matt was a good talker in the Facebook groups, and he got a couple of us, and here we are.
He was. It was like when not to mention them, but when Matt Vick and invited him over to the house, that kind of like sealed the deal for me. I was like, okay, I'm gonna hire this dude. He's people that are well known in the game talk about him. They speak well about him. He was, attended, last year's expo. I think he was a speaker or whatever. And, he had a little conference of himself. What was it, in October in Texas? That conference. I don't know. I'm not even sure who attended that. But yeah,
no one did.
Lesson learned. No one did. Yeah, it's crazy. It's definitely lesson learned. But it's like it's more about like, I don't really give a shit about the money. I just never want this guy to be able to do anything in marketing again. I understand, he could file for bankruptcy and all that stuff, but I just never want him to be able to do anything in marketing again. Because there's a lot of guys, like even in my area, I'm in Massachusetts, and I know all you guys are in different states. I'm in Massachusetts, and there's 3 or 4 guys just in this state that have worked with him, that have reached out and hey, he got me for $5,000, he got me for $9,000, he got one kid for $2,500, never even did his website. So it's I don't know how you do this type of stuff and get away with it, but
damn,
where the fuck do these guys have money?
I don't trust nobody.
And this is
no, he definitely. If he had money, at one point he clearly did have money. I'm not sure what the hell he did with that money.
I'm talking about the guys that pay him. Who's starting a junk recruitment with $20,000 to pay somebody? Like
that's crazy.
It makes no sense to me. But yet you don't want to pay the people that are doing it. You don't want to give the money to the guys that have done it. You want to give the guys who sold their company and don't do it anymore and are out of the game. I don't understand
it. Hold on. I want you guys to realize one thing.
They speak a good game. That's what I can say. They definitely speak a good game.
Sean, listen to me for a second, though. This is what you guys got to realize, man. You guys are getting fooled by middlemen. You know what I mean? All of you. You got to do your research out there, man. We have all these middlemen that know how much money's in junk removal, and they're just preying on everybody, and they're acting like they know this and they know that. But after me being in for 6 months, I'm realizing that a lot of it's just bullshit, and they're hiring other people, and they're throwing on their tax. So when you talk to Matt Fitch and everything, you got to question this guy right there. And if this guy starts giving you answers, I got to get back there, I got to speak with my team, that should put an antenna up in your head. Because anybody that knows anything, if you ask me anything with marijuana, anything with fitness, anything with any business I've ever did, I'm going to give you that answer so fucking thorough. You're going to be like, oh, wow, this guy's a fucking expert. If that guy has to go and talk with his team, that's a red flag right there, and that guy knows bullshit then. And that's what they're doing to everybody, man, because they know how much money is in here. And then another flag.
He's in my emails, man. He's in my emails. You know what I mean? Like every lead that comes through, he sees every train. Like, it's Sean, like.
But this is even more simple. Nuts, this is common sense, guys. You got to hear this, guys. Guys, Russ just nailed it. If somebody is saying they made so much money in junk removal, bro, but they sold their business and they're just still here. So, yo, if you had a successful business that you were banking, would you sell that thing or would you keep that going and still run your other business?
Hey guys, I just want to let you know I'm selling my business for $50K. Whoever's ready to buy it.
I'm starting a course for $1,100. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm a guru now, guys. I don't want to do junk removal. I decided I'm more of a guru.
Yeah, I'm selling magical carpets. You know what I'm saying? Trust me.
Charlie's a big fan. I see. I don't know who Charlie is, but he knows who we are.
Charlie's Ricardo. That's the tranny Ricardo. No, that's the other girl. The other, whatever that other bitch's name is.
Well, I think Sean may have got caught up in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Because you definitely went to the Junk Expo, or right?
Bro, and it's not just one.
Everything was over Facebook. Like I had an interview with
So
listen, I had an interview with Ronnie Knuckles. I had an interview with Lewis. I had an interview.
But Sean,
Matt Fitch was the third guy I had an interview with. You know what I mean?
But I'm saying, what I'm saying is, I don't mean to cut you off, but what I'm saying is that you said this guy went to the barbecue at Matt's house. So, you know what I mean? That kind of sold you right there. You kind of like, I got him. I hooked him. You know what I mean? Get the net. I got a big one right here. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you have to, everybody listening right now, you have to watch who you listen to. You have to watch this, you know what I mean? These guys are middlemaning, and you guys are just falling for the okie doke. That's why Mr. Yee Yee is spending the money right now, trying these things out. Because if it doesn't work, it's going down. I'll tell you that right now.
I want to play devil's advocate too. I think we all need to take a step back and realize that we are all humans too. And Matt might really be going through some shit. And
it doesn't matter, bro. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm just saying that at some point in time when we were endorsing him, maybe he was doing the right things and he obviously got off the wrong path, whatever. We have to be careful for
I've
sure.
had communication with this guy at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, you know what I mean? Messaging me and, giving me, solid advice. We've set up, there's what is it? Like a little cat rescue cat center around here. And it's just, a husband and a wife. The wife passed away. So, he was giving me pointers, you know what I mean? So he made like a little blog on my Facebook. Even that blog brought me in, like a little bit of business. But as far like once I get on a job and I say, hey, how did you hear about me? Was it through my website? Was it through Google? Was it through Facebook? It's like more and more that I realize, because at some point you have to be accountable, right? And I'm definitely accountable. You know what I mean? But
I think Russ hit the nail on the head. Is we have to invest in people that have been doing it for a long time. You know what I mean? Like actually, people are really, abrasive against us because we're so new, and I'm starting to understand it more and more because it makes sense. Like so many people have got burned. Like I said earlier, in my Discord, someone already paid $5,000 for someone else's mentorship. And he said, I get more value from your free Discord than I did that mentorship. And that puts pressure on me because and that puts pressure on me because I need to make sure that the guys that I'm mentoring don't feel that way.
I now charge $10,000 an hour. If that's the case, I'm $10,000 an hour and cash only or Bitcoin.
Right. So you at the end of the day, we have to invest in people that have been in the business a long time because they've obviously stuck around. Like 5 years, 10 years. You don't get there by accident. So.
Denise, I just want to clarify things because we're all learning at the same time you are. We were kind of all drinking the Kool-Aid too. We're all, everybody's a guru. If you're a speaker at an expo, you just start, you fall in line. You think that's the person, and you're taught to go and find success and all. But all I'm saying is dig deeper yourself, because I am digging deeper and I am starting to hear the back channels, and you start really learning what's really going on and who's real and who's not. But until, a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I wasn't even thinking that I have to look like this and be looking into everybody, because it's like you said, man, all these guys are working with them and you're hearing good things and all. until you hear the one bad thing, and then that one person comes out, and it happened to be Sean here, and he kind of let the rest of the community know, and then from that, now everybody's like, yo, he hasn't been answering me either. Now we realize there's a problem. So Denise, I don't want you to think, you know, that we knew anything like, you know, this guy is going to scheme or scam. There's a lot of people, and this is why we made this show just for them.
A lot of people.
And I'm
Russ is going to say he knew.
So here's the thing, okay? When he started, he sold an 18-page packet for $4,500. And I watched people go out there and buy ink on paper from someone for $4,500. If you could fucking do this by reading a book, I'll write it and sell it to you for $1, because you can't. And that's the problem, is everybody looks at what someone tells you in paper because they say, oh, I sold my business. Prove it. Prove it to me. Show me the checks. Show me the fucking contract. Show me who bought it. Show me that you actually did that. Because I've been asked to be bought for $680,000 and I said no. So if I ever get sold, I can guarantee you I'm holding the fucking paper up and shouting it, look at what I did. But all of the guys, like I've said on many shows before, they have strong backs and not much intelligence. And they come in with big backs and they think they can do it. And they run through a cash flow cycle. They run through something like JT got fucked up on and didn't see coming. And then all of a sudden they start pointing the fingers at everybody else. And they never point the finger at themselves. And you cannot, if you are not intelligent, you know you're not intelligent. Don't think you can just start this and become a millionaire, because you cannot. I promise you, you cannot.
Also, I think a lot of people want to cut the line.
Oh yeah,
and
of course.
and go all the way to go instead of going all the way around the board. So therefore, we all started junk removal probably because we seen a video. And you know, a lot of people just want to rush the game instead of learning the game. And it's so easy to say, okay, this guy's a mentor, this guy's a coach, this guy's this. Okay, I'll go to that class. But even though that course, that class might be very good for you, but sometimes you don't know how to listen to the rules. You don't play by the playbook, and you don't do what you're taught really. But I think that a lot of people, like what Russ said, you don't want to put your work in. You don't want to feel failure.
See, this is I'm right there at the beginning. So I'm that guy that you're talking about, bro. And
I know.
This is the problem that is there, bro, is when you have all these gurus out there that you're trained to go and learn who's doing it right. And they're all said they did it very successfully. So you're listening to what they're saying. And then 10 of them are telling you to be successful, you have to do this, 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 and this. So when all these people are saying this, you start getting clouded and you don't know what is real. Now you start getting paranoid because now you find a Matt Fitch in the cycle. Now you're like, oh my God, now I got to worry about this. Like these people might not even be legit what they were saying. I'm following everything they're saying. So that's where it gets so confusing. And then you're sitting there and your phone's not ringing for the day. And now you're saying to yourself, well, I guess these 10 guys are right, bro. They told me I need to do this. And this is why my business is not growing. Next thing they're shoveling money out there.
But here's the thing.
I second that.
Here's the thing is that, when I first started my business, my phone did not ring one time for 30 days. For 30 days, my phone did not ring one time. And I was like, babe, I walked away from my career. Was this the right move? I said, hell yeah. Let me go put some work in. Let me go introduce myself to more people. Let me go out there and show people who I am. Let me go park my vehicle over there. Let me listen to another video, but I'm just going to listen to it. I'm not going to buy this. I'm not going to buy that. I went to the Junk Expo. The only speaker I listened to was Kevin S. and Matt and Vic. I didn't even listen to the speakers. You were there, Paulie. I was outside, doing my videos, doing what I do. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't need to, because the recipe is out there for you guys. It's free on YouTube University. Do your homework, learn. But a lot of people don't have that patience. And when you don't have those patience, you're going to pay.
And they don't want to take responsibility either for their shortcomings. People don't want to take responsibility that they're not actually putting the effort required to learn the process, right? Like, if you're trying to throw paint at a wall and thinking something's going to stick, yeah, it'll stick, but you don't even know why it's stuck in the first place. Like most people, all the answers are out there, But when you're new, you don't know what questions you're supposed to be asking. And then once you start figuring something out and you actually put the effort to learn it, then you kind of, okay, now I can expand into this. I can expand into that. That's the biggest thing is you, like you guys said, people want a shortcut. There's no shortcutting the time frame of actually running a successful business. It is going to, like Alex from Rossi says, it's going to be harder and take longer than you ever will expect it to.
And that's why this show is so valuable to the junk removal business, the junk removal family out there, because we're helping you guys out. There's 6 different screens right here that you guys could email, message, and ask a question. And you're going to get that absolutely free.
Denise, you only trust Russ and JT? I'm taking offense to that. What about us over here?
Hey, let me question Denise. Are you Anne Marie Fletcher? Because you said you were in Douglasville.
Guys, you can't trust
another.
Those guys are scammers.
Yeah. Well,
I think too many people think that, you hire a coach and a mentor, and it's the same thing with Google Ads guys. It's the same thing with the SEO guys. It's anybody that you hire. As soon as you give someone money, you expect something that is not reality if you do not put in the work. You can go and pay a Google guy $100,000 a year, and he could only get you 50 grand. And you point the finger at him, and he's going to tell you, well, guess what? You didn't answer 137 calls that came in today or this month. You didn't answer the calls. You didn't do the follow-ups. You didn't do this. Your minimum price is $200. You won't leave your house for less than $250. All of these things is the operator's fault. And as a coach or a mentor or as a Google Ads rep or whoever you're getting money from these people for, they point the finger at you. They'll never go in the mirror and go, you know what, dude, you fucked up. This is on you. It doesn't happen. And that's the biggest issue with coaching people. I'll walk away from people. I give them a very certain amount of time. And if you're not doing it, I'm not wasting my time. It is not worth my effort. I don't need the money. And it's more frustrating, as JT is going to find out, the more people that he gets into, they all do this and none of them want to do any of the work. It's like, okay,
Guys,
it's 10 o'clock at night. Go put out 100 signs tonight. I'm going to smoke some weed. I can do it.
Yeah.
Did you do this? Did you do that? Did you Facebook post? Did you Facebook group? Did you do anything consistently at all? And they're like, no. And then it's like, but it's my fault, right? I'm kicking ass and you not. So look in the mirror.
Yeah, and you'll have people, you'll have high performers doing well, and then people that aren't doing it, and they're like, well, I don't understand. I have a guy that legitimately signed up 2 weeks ago, and I've not heard from him once. And I keep trying to contact him. His money's just sitting in an account because I'm just ready for him to be like, hey, I want it back. And I'd be like, okay, bro, you take it because you're not doing what you're supposed to. But
let me tell you this, JT. I was on the show a few weeks ago, and there was a kid in here who was 16 years old, Josiah. And I sat here with him, and I said, I will give you 5 free coaching sessions, no cost to you to help you. This was, what, a month and a half ago, Paul? He called me that night and has never one time reached out again. So it's like you're 16 years old and a guy who's in the top 5% of junk removal companies is trying to help you, and you're not even taking him up on the offer to do it for free. So, and he's 16, which you would understand. 16, young, dumb, doesn't know, he's got a girlfriend, he's going to go get,
There's no excuse.
whatever.
There's no excuse.
Right, but now you look at, and I work with people who are 25 to 55, and they do the same fucking thing. So it's like, if you were going to pay to go to college, if your kid got to pay $50,000 to go to college, you'll spend that money to go to college and have him learn something. But you won't spend it on yourself, not even a tenth of it, to learn how to run a successful junk removal company because you think it's not worth it. But you'll send them off to college for 200 grand to learn something that they can't even make a fifth of what you're making in this business. And then you don't even want to pay the guys that know how to get there because you know it all. So it's like, fuck, good luck. Have fun.
Go ahead, my brother.
I was just going to say, I also think it's funny the people that talk down about the coaches too, because at least for me personally, I don't think Russ feels this way, but I'm taking on the stress of someone else's business because I want to put results on the table for you. And I know that I can only give them the systems to do that. It's still on them to enact that. So I'm over here not only stressing about growing my business and getting to places like where Russ is at, because that's where I want to be, but also trying to get these guys doing 10, 12, 15, 20 a month. And that's stressful. So
I had someone reach out to me that had a car with a broken transmission and he wanted to do good. And I respect the guy. And I told him, I was like, dude, I respect your hustle. get equipment, and I'll be working with you. But it's not. I think there's real unrealistic expectations that people have on coaches. Like you're driving a Subaru in a 5x8 wagon with a rotted out floor, and you think I'm going to get you to 20 grand. You got to be able to tow something that will make you 20 grand before I can even do anything with you. And the expectations is that a lot of people, see videos like JT's and others where I made $1,200 in a day, and they look around and they're like, "Oh, honey, look, I'm going to go take out old Betty with the rusted back end, and I'm going to go do it." And they can't, and they're like, "It ain't working. I don't understand what happened. I put 3,000 pounds in the back. The rear end fell out. This is a scam." It's like, what
And
the
it's
fuck
it's our
about?
fault.
So
I am part of the problem though. So I will. I hear you.
Well, here's the thing, guys.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. The thing is execution. Execution is all important. I've had a lot of guys that take my training, and the funny thing is when I put my training out there, I did it for the new guy, right? I did it for the guys just learning and everything else. But the guys that ended up really, really doing well at it is the guys that are already doing 7 figures. They're the guys that are still hungry to grow. A couple of weeks ago, Russ was on here and he started naming these big 7-figure names out there. Most of those guys took my training. You were just talking about Andrew Barton. He took my training. He said, "You're not charging enough." I'm not charging a lot because I did it for the little guy. But, the James Corey's, the Andrew Barton's, the, Abel, he used to be a corporate trainer. He told me my shit is amazing. And he was a corporate trainer. And he's like, "You're not charging enough." And he uses my training to train his team. But the thing is, Taylor Chastain.
Kevin, I got to say this. I was just talking with Abel today, and he was telling me, he's like, "Yo, you got to go buy Kevin's train." I was like, "I already have it, man." I was like, "I'm on it and all." And Abel sending me over his stuff that goes along with your training because he trains all his guys with your stuff.
Yeah, he sent me a video of his guys sitting there taking notes and writing down, taking my training video. And a lot of the guys, the guys that execute are the ones that are still hungry. They can be doing 7 figures, but they're still continuously learning. They're still trying to obtain knowledge. They're trying to gather information, and they're still learning, because they've even though they've gotten to that 7 figures, they've learned that they had to put their ego aside to get there. Russ is doing as well as he is because he put his ego aside. He knows he's still learning. Maybe, I don't
know. I won't go that far, but
But the guys that are really doing well are the ones that put their egos away and want to learn more. Like I said, I started this for the little guy, but it's the guys that are the 7-figure guys that are really, executing on it. Taylor Chastain, he fucking is killing it out there because his team, I went and did a personal training with him. His team, I went in person, and his team turned that into their culture. I told them, I said, "You take this training, you take and pick and choose what you want, that works. You keep doing what you're doing well already." But they took my training 100% and made it part of their fucking culture. And a lot of the people that are doing this, even, James Corey, he does amazing. He calls me all the time, but, he puts his training into effect. There's a lot of guys out there that are doing it, but I have guys that have taken it as well that do absolutely nothing with it. And like I said, it's exactly, it's about execution. It's about the people that are really hungry are the ones that are going to execute on it and listen to it.
But
I want to
hear the other. I want to hear the other side from you guys, just to get the people in the chat involved to hear. What can they be looking for? What are some red flags to look for finding coaches? Because people got to know, what's authentic, who's authentic.
They're not doing it anymore.
Yeah,
red flag number one.
I don't
Honestly.
trust. I'm not a salesman, and I don't try to be a salesman. If they sound like a fucking salesman, and everything, and they're talking a lot but not really saying anything. I won't mention any names because there's a couple of guys out there that charge a fucking fortune for coaching that teach you basic bullshit. And it's annoying as hell. But they're good at talking. So they reel people in, and then they talk a bunch of the basic bullshit on there. and people are supposed to, you know, paying them $5,000 a month, 10,000, whatever, for
Holy
these
fuck!
coaching programs. It's really ridiculous to me.
I'm in the wrong business.
I'm
I-
telling you.
I'll tell you
I
what.
think
Here's the problem with what everyone's telling with Kevin with charging more, right? Yeah, he's not charging enough, but if he charged what he was worth, he'd sell 3, because the only people that are going to pay for the stuff are the ones that know what he's doing and they know what the knowledge is going to be. For me, I charge $350 a month to coach. That's peanuts for someone that is in my level. I don't do it for the money. I do it to help and weed out people who bother me like they used to bother, or they bother JT now. So thank you for taking that over. But I only charge because I don't want to deal with the people who want the free stuff and not do anything with it. But I mean, I can't even get fucking people to spend $350 a month. Are you fucking kidding me? $5,000? Who are these people? Send
Russ,
them
I'll
my
send
way.
you. I'll send you 350 right now because I'm looking for my next mentor. By the way, no, I think the other thing too is if they're like just selling a course, right? Because let's talk about again in the beginning, you don't know what kind of questions you're supposed to ask, and I think that if the person that you're working with is not willing to set up meetings with you, review your numbers, and figure out where your holes are in your game, that is the biggest red sign. If you're hiring someone to mentor you, they need to be able to identify where you're having the shortcomings. And that's it. That is the purpose of having a coach. No, nothing outside of that. You know, you
If
have
they're
your
honest with you.
if they're honest with you, and they need to be able to keep you accountable, but also keep your mindset right. Because I've already had a couple people where they have one bad day, and it's like, brother, you just because you had a bad day, and then they'll go sell $1,000 the next day, or 2,000 or 4,000. It's like it's ebbs and flows in business, and we have to be able to identify what things they can be working on in the times where they're not having as much business as they want. So like the guy was saying that had a $5,000 program and hasn't got anything from it, it's because it was a course and it went over basic shit, like Kevin said. That's you want to stay away from that. That's it.
Yeah.
Make sure he's accessible too. Whoever the coach is, make sure that you have their cell phones and that you have the ability to ask them questions. I have a guy that I work with, and he reached out to me on Saturday, a holiday weekend, and asked about a hoarding job that he's bidding for $16,000. And we talked the numbers, and he was shooting like $9,000, and I was like, that's only like $2,000 over what it would cost them to do it. Why? I don't understand. It's a hoarding job. They don't want to deal with this, and he ended up bringing it up to like $16,000. He thinks he's got a shot to do it, but and there's a lot of things like with your coaches that and this is no knock on you, JT, so don't take it this way, okay?
Yep.
But JT isn't going to be able to help you quote $100,000 department store clean out. JT
Absolutely.
is not going to be able to walk into a hoarder house and look where you can't even get into the house and tell you where to even begin to try to start trying to do the estimate to even get to the sales process. You got to be able to figure out how much shit is in there before you can even try to sell the job. And I think a lot of people who are looking at coaches and stuff like that, they should have at least the knowledge of the jobs that they're asking for, right? So Paul and I have talked, and I would never try to coach Paul on how to go and do an office clean out of 200 cubicles with him and his girlfriend. I would tell him, this isn't a job for you. You're not going to be able to do this with 2 people. That's my job, is to tell you the honest truth. And coaches are supposed to tell you where you're going to be the most successful. If you're running a 1-truck operation, it is not me trying to tell you how to go out and just do hoarding jobs all day, because you'll do 1 a month or 2 a month, and that's it. And you're losing out on all the other business. Plus, you don't have the equipment. You don't have the experience. You might not know how to bid the job. So there's a lot of jobs that a lot of people, like I get 30,000, 100,000, 50,000, and everyone creams their shorts and wants them, but they don't understand it's more of a drag on your business than it is a plus. You see a big number, but if you're, a 1-person operation and you do a $50,000 job, you're there all month. So all that other jobs that came in, you can't do. Those are all word of mouth sales you lost. Those are all dollars that are going to come in right away. People get into the commercial aspect. They want to do all these commercial jobs and they don't understand cash flow issues. So they pull out a $20,000 job and they're new and they want to get the job, so they don't ask for a deposit. So now they got to front the cost of the labor and everything. And then they're done and they're like, all right, Bob, give me the money. And he's like, all right, cool. I'll send it up. They'll send it out to you in 30 days. You just exhausted all of your bank accounts. You have no credit cards. You can't go and advertise. You're literally stuck doing nothing, waiting on a check to come in the mail in 30 days. So
Yeah.
people who have never done big jobs don't understand the logistics of it. They don't understand a lot of the things that go into the bidding process, what they're going to require from you. Most of the people on here, frankly, can't do big jobs because they don't have workers' comp, they don't have the equipment, they don't have the confidence to go in and sell a $50,000 job like they've done it before. And this is what you're paying for when you have mentors. I've actually got on and sold jobs myself for clients because they didn't know how to talk to someone. So I took the phone call, called them from their number, and said, hey, listen, I'm blah, 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 blah. Let me walk you through it. And they end up getting the job because of the experience I have. So you're not just paying coaches to, try to get you to where you're at, but they're there to teach you exactly when I'm not around. I don't want to be with you forever. My goal is not to be your coach for the next 10 years. Like 6 months with me, and you should be able to get it outside of maybe some estimating jobs or some fucking tax thing that you can't figure out or something like that.
I got something to say here.
Yeah.
It's the Yee Yee time. So Denise, this is can you put up the comment right there, Paulie? Denise, this is why I love Russ. Russ breaks it down. Can we put that? Okay, so let's break this comment down right here, Denise. So Denise, you just put this up right here. This is why I love Russ breaks it down. Have you reached out to Russ one time? Have you, have she ever reached out to us? Because I think she left a comment, you guys show your mentors, let us know who your mentors are, this or that. But if you like the way Russ breaks it down, and Russ is on the show all the freaking time, why wouldn't you reach out to this guy? This guy is saying $350 a month, and you're going to get the breakdown. And he has a big operation, A+ junk removal. If you don't know what that's about, you should look it up. And you know what I mean? Everybody you're seeing right here in these screens are mentors. You can reach out to us, but it's the people that are not doing that and giving the respect, but they're falling for the okie doke. And when I see people going on YouTube and saying, oh, I don't have no time. I seen 2 videos today where somebody said, I don't have no time. And they mentioned Kevin Ness. And I said, you don't have the freaking time to reach out to Kevin Ness. You've probably seen the video. And it's just like, but you made a 2-hour rant. And then,
there's your time.
and then here you go. Nothing, not to down Denise. There you go. But I'm trying to tell you. But here's another, Josiah. This guy offered you a 5-month course for free.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And you
I offered him coaching lessons, not months.
I offered Josiah free training as well, and he didn't pick me up on it.
It's time to put Josiah on the car seat, the feeding chair, hot seat time.
Hold on one second. Who is Jerry? Jerry, who are you? Where are you located? Because you are saying a lot of stuff. We just want to know that you're a real person and that it's not a troll. Because we don't want So Jerry, just let us know your name, your company, and all that.
I wasn't going to put the guy on blast, but the one I've been talking about with the 5K program is that person as well.
Ditto.
Just so you guys know.
Guy Lane, we're talking about. So, Jerry,
I've heard some horror
Jerry, I
stories
want to
about
know, Jerry, did you have an experience? Can you please come on, man? Let's send him the link and all that. Let's get him on here. And
I want to get to Denise about this, my new SEO guy and my ads guy, because I haven't spent enough time with them, and I don't want to refer someone that I don't know if they're worth their weight yet. So, in 90 days or 180 days, if my ad guy is bringing me good revenue, my SEO company is bringing us good revenue, then I will share it with people.
Okay, let me also say this, Denise. So I don't know. I think you missed the first part. Me and Mr. Yee are doing things. So we're testing out things. Mr. Yee just went and did the SEO with William Jones from Rank Fortress. And in the first month, he is #1 in his area. He is now spreading out, and he's going to go to rank the top 3. He's going to keep us posted with that. Now, we had Blake Short on the other day, and he's the Facebook ads guy. So Mr. Yee wanted to try that out, signed up. He started his campaign, I think it was like a couple days ago, and he's going to keep us posted the whole way through. He's going to say, did he make money off it? Was it a loss? He's going to be tell us the straight, honest truth. And that's what we're trying to do, is test these people out. And then if it's real and it really happens, we're going to let everybody know and report back. And if it's not, and it's somebody else is going in, we're going to also let that be known as well. You know, and also, guys, I got to remind everybody, Josh, he was on the other day. He was a Google Ads guy. And, you know, we were asking him to, you know, a couple of people said they would like to try him out, you know, and be guinea pigs, and they were willing to put up the money. Abel was being one of the guys, and it was John Aguirre from Arizona. So Josh said that he was dealing with somebody in Abel's area, so he couldn't do work with Abel. That makes sense. But John, you know, is in a free area. So Josh, I really want to hear back from you, man, and find out that you followed up with John, and that we actually could track everything and see it and all. So don't lose his opportunity, Josh. This is somewhere where you could really prove yourself and show that you got the skills it takes to really, you know, coach people and show people how to do things. So, you know, that's part of the other stuff that we're doing. We're going to keep everybody updated.
Yeah, and Denise, if you want, I mean, Denise lives in the same town as I do. I tell you what, Denise, beer and chicken wings, you got 2-3 hours with me.
Shit, I'll go.
Beer and chicken wings. That's all it takes with me. I'm a really easy guy.
So
Also,
here's one. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think someone gave Ricardo points, so automatically I don't trust this guy. But
yeah, he's out.
He's
That's
out.
a red flag. No, but what I was gonna say is, when you guys are going to, and you're gonna try to track Google ads and SEO guys and all these other guys, have a realistic understanding of how this whole thing works, because most of you guys don't, and they're selling you things that are going to work automatically. Now, I know Paul and who you work with, and you're having good luck in a very short amount of time, and it's because the keywords that you're looking for are in a very small niche market. It's not Atlanta, Miami, St. Louis, big areas. So Petaluma is a small town in that county. So your SEO response is going to be better. But most times it's 6 to 9 months for SEO to start working in any fashion in a bigger market. The other issue is that when you guys get into your Google Ads guys and you're like, oh, JT did my Google Ads and he sucks, so I'm going to go to Paul, and now Paul sucks, and I'm going to go to Yee Yee, and then I'm going to go to Kevin. You guys have to understand that every time you change a company, your Google Ads has to relearn everything, and it takes another 4 to 6 weeks for that to come back online to where it should be. So when you guys go from JT to Paul, and you go, well, fuck, I was doing better with JT, Paul has to have the understanding to tell you it's going to take you 6 weeks to have this all relearned. So you're going to not get the results in 6 weeks like you're going to get later, which is probably why JT just started with his Google ads, spent $2,300 and made $2,400, because Google is learning what you're doing. What are your services? Is this guy correct? They're in the background still checking you out because you're so new. Whereas guys like me have been there, and I don't have to worry about it. I'm not. If I spend $4,000, I'm going to get back 15 or 20. So that's the difference. And a lot of people, when you guys are going into this, they don't know that it takes time, because no one wants to tell you. They want the money today, and they want to Matt fit you, and that's unfortunate, and it sucks. That's why when Josh was on last, I asked him, I go, Josh, how long does it usually take for SEO? Because I want people to understand, these SEO guys tell you that they can, make fairies fart gold, and they can't. And it does take time. And the biggest thing with your SEO, above anything else of paying anybody or anything, is time. I've never one time paid anything for SEO in my market, ever once. I've never done it for any business I've ever done. And I consistently rank 1 through 3 in every single keyword search here. So it's time that you're on there, and they don't tell you that. They want to sell you a service that's subbed out to someone in the Philippines, and then they want to tell you that they're doing great, and you're not, because you've only been doing it. Like, let's just say JT starts tomorrow and he goes out and pays someone $3,000 in my area. The guy has to no shot for a year, so he's out $30,000 for a year to even compete with me, and then he's still gonna not rank higher because I've just been there longer, and you can't get rid of the time.
So Russ, so when you started, some guys may have not started like you. So when you started, did you go out and pay for a website to be made?
100%.
with
I went out.
with all hang on with all the right SEO keywords and everything than somebody who just started, like a person like me who went on GoDaddy and did his own website and learned everything on YouTube. Maybe if I would have started from the beginning with the website builder, with the right SEO company, I would have maybe been like you, who don't have to pay for this because I'm already there.
Right.
So for me, it is a time game.
Right.
I'm not waiting for the SEO to pay me off right now, but I want to see how it works. I want to learn. And I want to learn how to do this to my website, what keywords, what to put, what landing pages, what this, what that. And I want to, you know what I'm saying? And I want to climb.
You want to know how, Yee Yee? I'm going to tell you exactly how all of you guys can do this.
That's
As a matter of fact, hold on. I'm going to try. I don't know. Can you guys still see me?
We can smell. We can smell you.
Okay. Well, that's fantastic. Let me see if I can find the prompt.
He's got the Sean Chavez filter on right now.
No, I'm looking to see if I can find that.
While he's finding that,
I got to say this one thing. I got to make this clarification because Jerry is friends with Charlie, told me to come watch the show. So far, I'm not impressed. Okay, so guys, everybody listen in the chat. You know, you were saying some crazy stuff about Sky Lane and all that. So Jerry's not a real person. He's a troll and all that. So we got to wipe everything that we just heard. You know, it's not.
Got to be further investigated.
Exactly, man, because that's not right. Sky Lane's not here, and we can't have a troll come in and discredit his name. And we don't know if that's true, man, because you know I've heard a lot of good things about Sky as well too. So
that's why I don't comment to a Charlie. I don't do this. It's just
I'm gonna tell this. I'm gonna talk. Any trolls come in here, I'm talking with you guys. So come in here and talk with. That'd be my job. I
want to say that Russ really hit that we have to make sure it gets reiterated is that how you know someone is worth their weight is that they give you realistic expectations. And if they set that for you, whatever, it doesn't matter what you're investing in, coaching, SEO, Google ads. If they say, hey, Tanner, hey, Russ, this is going to take you 3 to 6 weeks, 3 to 6 months, a year until you see results, then you know that they're not trying to BS you.
Yeah. And ask around.
I'm on this. She says, need to have a call in. Typing all this crap comes across wrong. Not mad at you guys. You are doing great, guys. Yeah, Denise, we're working on that. So, you know, I'm thinking in like 3 weeks, I'm going to have that call in going and all that. We got a couple things we're going to be introducing before then, but that is definitely one of the additions that me and Mr. Yee are working on as we speak.
Guys, I'm going to hop off. Russ, I sent you a message on Facebook. I'm serious. Okay. Let's get together, okay?
Yeah. Thank you, JT, for coming on, brother. I really appreciate it. And, bro, thank you for that video. Anybody that's in here, get over to their channel. Go check out that demo video. It's so real and authentic. You see it on their faces as they're going through everything. Just go. I'm not going to say anymore. Just go check that out.
That's the oh shit. That's the oh shit face.
Yeah.
I got this shit. Fuck, why did I do this job? God damn it.
Every other video is fake, but that one's real. Okay, guys? Much love.
Later. That was good. Yeah, I really liked that video, though, man. It was just so real because I felt that. I felt what I seen in there before. And, you know, it's that they captured that and they showed us the real authentic thing. You know, they didn't need to show that. They could have just played it off like they did this first big job and they killed it, no problems and all. But that was like a real awakening for me. I was like, I lived through it with them and all. I felt it.
Well, at least they're honest, you know. At least they show some real stuff that actually happens, and it's not, you know, just you know the type of videos that they normally put out, which are good. I'm not saying that they're bad, but it's good that when you have a large following like that, unlike some of the other people that only, you know, think that everything works out great, there's no way that you have done. I can tell you I've done 14,000 junk removal jobs in 6 years, and there's no way that every single one of them went perfect. And to think that you're going to be perfect is you're falsely mistaken. But if you're going to get a big following, you got to show them too. Like, look, I fucked up. I fucked up. I'm showing you guys I fucked up live in person so that you guys don't make it. So I commend them for doing it because most people would never do that.
Absolutely. That's why I told him I thanked him so much for sharing that with us and just keeping it 100.
Yeah, and that's the one thing, you know what? I don't necessarily always agree 100% on the way that other people do things, but I always agree when people are honest, and you can always just listen to them and try to at least believe they have your best intentions. They may not always be right, but they have your best intentions, and you can't go against someone who has your best intentions for you. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just, oh, they fucked up. That's not how you do it. Fuck. Don't trash the guy. They're trying to do it. You know, they're trying to be honest. And unfortunately, as many of us have found out, there's very few people in this junk business that are honest. And unfortunately, they're just fucking ripping people off, and it
So
pisses me off
what if
because
Matt
I can't
Fitch
do it.
came out with a video? What if Matt Fitch came out with a video and dropped a YouTube video and just said, "Hey, everybody, I'm sorry for what's going on. I fucked up." You know what I mean? I don't know.
Return the
April
money,
Fools.
bro. You
Yeah,
gotta
you give me
return the
back my
money,
20
bro.
grand, and I'll
That's
say,
it.
yeah, man, okay, I get it. You fucked
We'll
up.
play the violin and everything for you, bro. We'll play the victim song.
I
But
think
he-
Russ is right. I think Russ is right. Give me my 20 grand back.
He took 200 grand from people total, whatever the number is. I mean, 5 grand, 10 grand, 15, 20 grand from all these different people and didn't do anything for them. Like, Paul and I both know that where we come from, that usually ends in some sort of hospital visit, and that doesn't, you know, it's
If you're
unfortunate
lucky.
that
If you're
you
lucky
can't do
to the
that.
hospital,
Bro,
landfill.
I would be at his house. I would.
Oh,
be
I'd have a
straight up.
pitchfork and a fucking tank of gasoline knocking on his door.
Well, you guys would all come with me, man, because I would do it right on camera, bro. I'd be like knocking on that front door, like, yo, I need some answers. I want to know he's in the hospital right now. I want to know he did some crazy shit, or else crazy shit's about to happen.
Yeah,
And
I got to be honest with you. I don't think I would ever go with you because I was one of the very few people when he first came out that said, if you buy this fucking piece of paper for 5 grand, you deserve to go out of business because you're as fucking stupid as it gets. And look what's happening. And I'm not saying that people are stupid because they don't know what they're doing. They just didn't take the time to realize or ask questions. They took someone at face value. And when you're doing a business like this, you cannot take the first person at face value.
Yeah, but hold on, Russ. This is the problem. We don't know any better, man. We're new. I don't know junk removal.
There's guys out there like me, and there's guys in the groups that you can go in those groups and ask questions, and we all
Russ,
tell you.
I get it, and I am that guy that's doing that. But not
most people don't do what you're doing. That's the problem.
Also, not everybody's on YouTube live, you know, airing out people that you are doing. You know what I mean? So 99% of the people would have got fooled by that, man, because I was fooled by him too, bro. I thought, you know, he knew what he was doing, and you know, I didn't give him no money or anything.
But Paul,
that's why you look at the guys with years of experience. Kevin has never probably paid for any at Got Junk when he was the GM. He probably wasn't in charge of the back end advertising and all of that stuff. He was the operations guy. He was to make sure that the day-to-day went good. So his skill set is probably more primarily on that end. And so he has to go and learn. I already know how to run the crews and do all the jobs and all that. I have to learn how to do the Google ads. What makes A go to B so I can get money? How does all that work? And even he probably had a lot of questions for people, and he's been doing it for so long and millions of dollars a year for 10 years.
You know, I still, you know, like he said, I ran every part of that business. You know, I had 50 guys. I had, you know, 18 trucks, and I knew nothing about the marketing because I had a marketing team.
Yeah,
you know, I had a brand awareness team, and I knew nothing about the marketing part. I knew every working part of that business except for the marketing. So when I started my own business, I'm like, all right, this is going to be easy. Oh, fuck, this marketing sucks. This is hard. And I had to learn. I had to, you know, I looked for mentors. I looked for people to help me, teach me, you know, and trust me, I'll be the first one to admit, I said a lot of good shit about Matt Fitch. I backed him up. I did that. I'll be the first one to admit it. You know, he made me an admin of his group. You know, he had me doing trainings on his group. You know, he kissed my ass a lot to make me, you know, really, you know, believe in myself and want to do things for him. And I'll be the first to admit, I was just on here before all this happened talking about, you know, helping promote his Slappa AI, whatever crap. You know, so I'll be the first one to admit it. I was backing him up too.
Right, but
So-
if Matt was an operations guy and he was like, "Hey guys, I'm going to tell everybody how to do operations at a multi-truck team," you would know instantly this guy has no fucking clue what he's talking about.
Oh,
And so
absolutely.
and for me, because I'm before most of the guys in the groups that you talk to, and I've been doing this for 6-7 years now, I've asked all of the questions that everybody should be asking. So it's and I would never ask them in the beginning. I started with JRA and Lee, and thank God they were honest with me and they helped me, and they were, and I still to this day use them. And I've never had them steer me wrong. But it was also me going out on my own time. Like, how does Google Ads work? How, like, what? It just being intriguing if you're going to run a business successfully and you're a single owner operator, or even me who has a multi-truck team and runs 4 trucks, 2 locations, whatever, dumpsters. You still have to understand some sort of the marketing end before you can really take off. Like, you can't just throw money at a problem and think the guy's going to fix it, because most of them don't. You know what I mean? So you have to do the due diligence and take a shit and watch YouTube. How do Facebook ads work? Go watch about 10 videos on Facebook ads before you go talk to someone about Facebook ads. Because if I go up and I talk about how to brew alcohol and I've never made beer, you're going to know real quick if you drink beer. But if you don't drink beer, I can sell you anything because you have no idea how to even make beer. I'm just telling you what I want you to know. And so you gotta understand, if you want to know how Facebook ads work, figure it out. You want to know how to do groups, look into it. How do Google ads work? What keywords? What are they looking for? What do you want on SEO? And really, honest to God, me and Kevin actually were talking, and I sent him a almost a professional sales brochure. Remember when I sent this to you? It was through ChatGPT, and I told it, "You're my sales executive. Tell my team how to overcome all the objections and junk removal. Give me the value proposition. Give me why they need to choose us." And I hit enter, and it spit out 10 of them. And I sent it to Kevin, and Kevin said, "Holy shit, man, this is better than I wrote." And it's
And
you can do that
what?
right on ChatGPT. Ask it fucking anything.
And do you know what happened after you did that, Russ? I started researching. I started gathering information, asking questions, learning how to use ChatGPT.
Yeah.
After you did that,
Yeah.
and I actually wrote 100-page ebook on how to utilize it for junk removal because of that.
Yeah.
Because I learned so much about it because you sent me that and you said you need to utilize it.
Yeah.
So I started, and that's exactly what you mean is gathering
Yeah.
information, educating yourself.
Yeah.
That's how you have to learn. If you're hungry, learn.
Yeah.
Watch
And
YouTube videos, learn, listen to people, ask the right questions, learn, gather information. And I mean, I wrote a whole fucking ebook just because of what you sent me.
Yeah. And I actually told it, I said, "You are my SEO expert. Give me a description for my GMB page that is within Google's patents and gives me the most ability to search keywords." And it literally just went, "A+ Junk Removal in Rochester, New York is your go-to for shed removal, hot tub removal," and it literally wrote it in 30 seconds. You copy it, you paste it into your GMB page, it has all of your keywords. Now you can do the same thing for your website. Yee Yee made his own. If you're going to make your own website, go to fucking ChatGPT and say, "Give me a high SEO, keyworded description of my business. This is what I do." And it will literally print the fucking thing out, and you copy it and you paste it onto your page and you're done. And it will know more because it knows all of it can read the entire internet in a half a second, more than you could ever know what you're doing. Just tell it what you want it to do. Give it a role. You're my HR rep. You're my sales rep. You're my fucking financial advisor. Whatever you want to learn about, you're going to tell me how to do it. I literally told it this. I'm working on this, and if anybody steals the idea, I'm gonna fucking kill you. But no. Well, basically, what it is I don't want to do Facebook posting every day. I don't want to do group posting. I don't want to do emails. I don't want to do message. I don't want to do any of that. So I told it to write me a program that would answer all of my Facebook messages, that would send all of my Facebook posts scheduled at different times, all 30 in a row. Don't make them the same as before. all these things, schedule it at different times. I want you to post them in these Facebook groups, all alternatively, every other day, rotate them, don't make them the same. And you just literally give it everything you want it to do. And it wrote me the program in
No
15
way.
seconds. Yeah, 15
No
seconds. Wrote me
way.
the entire fucking program. And
No
I was
freaking
like,
way.
yeah, so now I'm like, this is what I want. I don't want to fucking do any of this stuff. So if I can get the program to do what I want, you give it an email. It now becomes your admin over all of your Facebook posts. So now it can automatically Facebook post for you. So you don't even have to be logged in. It has its own email address. It answers all of its emails. It does all of the stuff in the background. That's what I'm trying to work on right now. So I don't have to deal with that shit.
Wow.
Follow up emails, fucking follow up for estimates that we missed. If an estimate goes more than 3 days, send an email, send a text message. Hey, Mary, we missed you. Just wanted to see if you still needed our services, whatever. And just set the whole thing up on the back end so I don't even have to deal with it.
All
You
right,
know,
guys, hold on. I wanna change topic because we got to get off soon, and there was a couple of things that I definitely want to bring up before the end of the show. First off, I just got to make an announcement. Thursday, 5 p.m. West Coast, 8 p.m. East Coast. I got Matt Paxton from Filthy Fortunes. He's going to be my guest on the show. So this Thursday, everybody tune in, get your questions together. Anybody that watched that Filthy Fortune show, it was on Sunday nights, 10 p.m. If you haven't, go check it out now. But
I
he'll
worked
be
with him
on
on a
there.
job.
Well, come on in the chat and throw in some questions and all, because it's going to be a good one. Also, I want to bring up mental health and being a business owner. I'm finding I didn't even realize how prevalent this is in our industry, and a lot of people going through things, and I'm not going to mention names, but a lot of people were saying they turn to food or bad eating, and it just kind of gets you in a bad kind of space in your mind with all the stress from running a business. We all know what we go through and all. So I just wanted to kind of put out different ways of people, how do you deal with the stress when it gets like this? And I'm going to start off, when I'm stressed and whatever, my answer is always go to the gym. I'll get on the treadmill and I'll just go on for like an hour, 2 hours, maybe play on my phone or something, and I just think or whatever, just relax. Or I throw some weights around and all, and it just lets it all go. But I also find out doing junk removal jobs, it's kind of weird. It's like this like relaxing thing for me. It's like I could be stressed or whatever, but I go and do a job, it's like, oh wow, I feel so much better, and it just puts me in a better place. So I kind of want to just go around the room and everything, and kind of get what you guys do. And do you guys ever get real stressed out from running the day-to-day business? And have you witnessed or seen anybody that's suffering with mental health issues from all the stress we deal with? Who wants to start off with that?
I will 100% start this off. So probably a lot of you guys don't know a lot about me personally, but I have severe ADHD problems, like wicked. And I was diagnosed when I was 13 years old for it. And I went through a massive breakdown last June. And I'm not afraid to admit it, because I think as men, we hold in more than women. We don't have all the friends that we can go out and talk to and shoot the shit for. And there's probably a lot of things in here that everyone's like, hey, man, if something goes wrong with Yee Yee, who are you going to call and talk to? You're going to pick up the phone and call your boy, and Yee Yee's going to be like, nah, I ain't calling no one. Fuck it. I'll just deal with it. And so we as men end up taking it on ourselves to solve every problem and have every answer. And I lost my shit in June. I had suicide prevention at my house. I had 6 cops here. They were trying to take me to a psych ward, and I was not going. And it was a really bad night. Thank God I have a best friend who showed up and walked in my house right past the cops and gave me a hug. And I literally broke down and just started crying because I was so stressful. Because even though you guys see all of us in 7 figures and everything else, we still have all the issues that you have. Only we deal with it in a much bigger scale. Our money flow problem isn't that, oh my God, I need to pay my bill of $300 on Friday. It's I have to have $10,000 in labor. And it's Thursday and I've only got 7, and I don't know if anything's going to come in right now because of the 30 grand that's owed to me. So you start to feel like you're a failure, even at our level, and the same thing. And a lot of that is mental health issues. So after that happened, I immediately started to try to get back on some of my ADHD meds that I was on when I was a teenager. And the process is ridiculously grueling to do this. in New York, you have to have 3 doctor's visits with a therapist, and then you see the psychiatrist, and then the psychiatrist is the one that prescribes you all the pills. Well, in New York State, the one that I was going to, I got to the end, and basically the lady told me, I hate to tell you this, but the psychiatrist that you're about to see is never going to prescribe any ADHD pills. So they took me for a $3,000 ride and never gave me anything. So I started looking into alternatives. And I would highly recommend anybody who has ADHD, anybody who has anxiety, depression, mania, hypersexuality, any of these, you know, long ongoing things of I'm not good enough. Highly recommend that you guys go out and check out a guy named Gary Brecka. He is a biologist, a human biologist, and he's one of the top 5 experts in the world on human biology. He works with Dana White. He works with Steve Harvey. He works with a lot of A-list celebrities, and he can tell you within 99% accuracy to the month that you're going to die just by looking at your blood records and looking at your 10 years of demographics. And this guy is absolutely unbelievably brilliant. And so I started watching him, and I found out that a lot of the issues that people have mentally is because the genetics that they were born with were fucked up, and they can't produce a lot of the neurotransmitters that you need. And it's a very simple test you can do to find this out. So I was at my wit's end and I just took the test. It was $199. It's a cheek swab, and you send it in, it comes back, and it tells you your methylation genes that are broke and what your body's not producing. I then got my test back and found out that I have 3 genetic mutations that don't allow me to make enough serotonin, norepinephrine, dopamine, and I don't have the ability to degrade thought. So when you have a bad thought and you're like, fuck, man, my wife's going to get mad at me, you hold on to it for days, right? Whereas in most people, you think about that and it's gone within a half an hour. I don't have the chemicals to balance that out. So it allows a lot of people who have mental illness, who think bad about themselves, anxiety, and everything else. It gives you a roadmap so that you can start taking the supplements to jumpstart your body to start making the stuff that it's supposed to. And I can tell you that within the first 3 days of me taking methylated B12 and methylfolate and SAMe, almost all of my anxiety went out the door. Almost all of my depression stopped. Almost every single thing that I had wrong with me mentally basically came to an end within 3 to 5 days. And it's 100% natural. And I am extremely passionate about this to the point that my best friend who walked in that day and gave me a hug, he also has ADHD and anxiety and everything else. And we're actually in the works of trying to do a podcast of business owners who have ADHD and how they deal with it, how employees deal with you as an owner who's off the chain sometimes, how our wives deal with us, how our kids deal with us, how we go through society with it. So I think when it comes to like mental illness and stuff, a lot of people also need to realize that most suicides are entrepreneurs. Most people who have mental health breakdowns are entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs have almost are in the highest class of every type of mental illness in the country or in the world. And it's because you have to be fucking psychotic to do what we do. And there's a big stigma about it. And I just, honest to God, hope that everybody realizes like everybody has mental illness. We all have mental breakdowns, and everybody can talk to somebody. Don't be stupid and think you're not going to go through this alone, because you're going to have bad days. You're going to want to quit. You're going to want to kill yourself. You're going to want to burn everything. You want to light your trucks on fire. You're going to want to just walk away from everyone. But yeah, I would highly recommend that if anybody has like mental illness like that, depression, anxiety, go get a test from Max Gen Labs. If anybody has it, I'll pay for the first one. I'll put up $200 and pay for the first person to get tested so that they can try to get better. It's a very big passion of mine for this, because you got to be crazy to do what we do.
What's the doctor's name again?
So he's not a doctor. He's a human biologist, and he was a mortality expert for insurance companies. And he was tasked with looking at all of your medical records and giving a timeline to the insurance companies. Now, here's the thing. And I didn't believe it at first. I was like, full of shit. I don't believe it, right? I went and got a term life insurance policy. Now, I want you guys to understand something. This is how I knew he wasn't full of shit. I got a term life insurance policy before I watched the guy. And he then comes on and says, you know how when you guys go and get those term life insurance policies, the very first thing they do is a blood test on you? He goes, because that blood test in your 10 years of demographics is going to tell me when you're going to die. And if you ever take a term life insurance policy and you get denied for a 20-year term life insurance policy, there's a 99% chance you're going to die in the next 20 years. The insurance company will not put a term life insurance policy on you unless you have the ability to outlive the policy. That's why 98% of term life insurance policies never pay out, because the insurance company knows when you're going to die. They know how long that's going to be, and they know how much money they're going to get off of you because all of your blood records just told you how long you're going to live. This is a proven science. This is like, it amazed me. So when he started talking, I was like, yeah, I did. And I got approved. So I looked at my wife. I was like, yeah, fucking 20 more years with me. But yeah, it's a complete and utter science to it. And a lot of the people who have mental illness can be cured just by simple supplements over the counter. Literally. I spend $40 a month on supplements, and I'm in a much better place than I've ever been.
And most of the supplements he's talking about, they come in your multivitamin, so it's not even anything crazy. You know, it's real easy to get. And is this site right, Russ? Can you look at the screen? Drew posted up a site for Max Labs, Maxin Labs,
Max Gen Labs. Yeah, it's Max Gen Labs. It's the five. It's the five thing. It's the 5-panel methylation test, and that'll tell you everything that your body's doing. And you do it one time, and as long as you're 2 years old, they'll have the results for you. So if you have kids who are like out of control and they're like, oh, your kid's got ADHD, you got to give them a pill. Go and have them have a swab done on their cheek and wait 2 weeks before you fucking go and stick them on pills. It's going to fuck them up the rest of their life. And he goes into a lot of different things other than just mental illness. He goes into why you have idiopathic blood pressure and why you have this and that. Like, the guy is, you'll go down a rabbit hole if you start watching him. You'll be like, holy shit, dude, I had no idea. You'll never go to a regular doctor again in your life, ever. Like, for just minor everyday things like aches and pains and blood work and shit, you'll never go to a regular doctor. The guy's a fucking genius.
Drew says term life is the one to get. Avoid the whole life insurance. That's the real scam. I used to be a licensed sell life insurance. Okay, thank you, Drew. Appreciate that, man.
The insurance companies want you to have money in there because they're a financial institution, and but think of it this way too. When the 2008 housing crisis happened and everything went bankrupt, and banks were failing, not a single life insurance company went out of business. Not a single life insurance company couldn't pay that policy because they know when you're going to fucking die. And they know I've got 20 years to get money out of this person and then I'm going to pay them. Give me another one. Give me another one. Give me another one. And they're just pulling them in because they literally can predict when you're going to die within 99% accuracy. And if he used to sell life insurance, he would know this because that every term life insurance policy gives you a blood test. You
Junk
can't get
on
one
Junk
without it.
Off says you could get it done by Dr. Gary Bree for
Yep, that's him.
$600.
Well, so you can do Gary Brecka's, and Gary Brecka has to go through 10X, which is Grant Cardone's ventures, because he signed with Grant Cardone last year. So you have to go through their tests, and they're $600. It's the same methylation test that I get for $199. He's just using his name and Grant Cardone's name to be able to charge more, but the test is the same. He also does blood work too, so you can actually go to one of his clinics and he'll actually pull the blood work from you. He's got a bunch of them in California and Florida and all over, and he'll tell you if you really want to know. He'll tell you when you're going to die, within 99%. And I'm like, I don't want to know. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I don't want to know.
But what he did too is he took Dana White, and Dana White, you can go look at this interview. Like, he went and did this entire interview on him, and he started telling Dana White what was wrong with him, and Dana White got so mad and was like, "Who the fuck told you all this? Because no one has. I've never told anybody this. Who told you this?" And he was like, "No one. I can tell by looking at your blood." And he was like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, your histamine levels are high. This is high. This is low." He said, "Work with me for 10 weeks and eat exactly what I tell you to eat, and you'll never have to take another blood pressure pill again." And 10 weeks later, he was off every single medication he was ever on, and he's never gone back on them. Yeah.
Drew says, I see on the Max Gen site, they check for food issues too.
Yep.
This sounds great.
Yeah. And the thing too with that too is like I'll publicly show mine. If anybody wants to see mine, I'll give it to you. So my big one is I have almost no COMT gene activity. And that is your catecholamines. That tells you if you have a bad thought, that helps you get rid of the bad thought. I have none of that. So any bad thought that comes in my head, I can't get rid of it. So and it'll literally tell you, okay, you have none of this, take this supplement. You have it also told me that I have higher than normal sensitivity to insecticides and pesticides. Like it will literally tell you every single thing that it goes through with all 5 of your methylation genes and tell you everything that you should supplement with. And I promise you, your head issues will go away. I'm telling you,
Now,
it
what's some physical things that you can do also, like, other than taking like supplements and all that? Like, is there anything that you do to deal with all the stress? Do you hit the gym at all? Is there any kind of physical stimulation or anything you do?
I do a lot of deep breathing again because of Gary Brecka, and his whole thing about oxygen levels in your body and giving you 7 years more of life just by doing deep breathing every day. So I do that, but I don't really. But we have such a physical job that I don't really work out. Plus, the other issue is, is I did a physical job for 25 years before I did this. So I served in a very high fast restaurant, but I also did gutter cleaning and roofing. So I've destroyed my body. So I like for me to even do a push up, it is very painful for me to do a push up because right now I have tendonitis in both biceps and I have both shoulders need rotator cuff surgery. So like for me to lift weights and anything like that, it'll fuck me up for days, and I'm just not willing to deal with it. So,
Mr. Yee, what do you do for like just getting the stress out and all? It looks like you've been on like some workout shit too, right? With your fitness and all.
You know, I started this business to have fun with my life and not to bring on any stress in my life. Otherwise, I would have stayed at my situation. But the business could be very stressful when the phone doesn't ring. You know what I mean? And crazy and mind boggling, especially when you see competition in your area getting jobs and you're just like, what the hell am I doing wrong? So, yes, we all run to food when we need that fix sometimes. And I love Chinese food. I love sushi. I love it all. You know what I mean? And I would love to just go to the smorgasbord and you know what I mean, Hoffs, all that type of stuff and eat. And but I learned that as we get more mature in life now that we don't we don't really see any people getting beat to death anymore because of the situations that we're in and the circle where we are around. You rarely see a fight, but we see more people with dialysis, kidney failure, strokes, heart disease, erectile dysfunction, and all types of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, health is wealth. And right now I'm on Wegovy, the shots. And because I tried every diet, and the only diet that worked for me, honestly, was a diet from Kaiser, and it was the liquid diet, under 1,000 calories a day, and it was a shake, a bar, a soup, and you can eat 5 of them a day, and you have to stick with this. And you'll start dropping these weights. You'll start dropping that weight off so fast because I don't want to be bashing, but a man loses weight faster than a female, and you know what I mean. It's science, but that's what I tried. Then I stopped. Then I have the gym membership. Me and the wifey have the gym membership. So I said, reached out to the doctor. My blood pressure raised ever since I left my employer. My blood pressure raised, 175 over like 90, and it's like, whoa, that's like stroke. That's like stroke levels. So we decided to go on this once a week Wegovy shot, and I put it on my YouTube for everybody to see. And since it's been probably, I would say 2 months now, almost, I have one more shot for 2 months, and I've lost almost 20 pounds already. And it kills the urge. It kills.
Let me stop you though. I just want to. I'm here, guys. Listen, you guys don't have to go that route, man. I respect that you're doing some right now and all that, but it's not about a diet, guys. I'm going to tell you this. It's learning to eat for a living, man. And I eat anything I want, and I could look like this, and I don't have to train all the time, and I'll still keep that. You got to learn how to eat right, man. And it all goes with mental health. It goes with having energy during the day. All this adds up. And what I think happens with is a lot of people fall off. And I could see how easily it is now being on the truck all the time. It's a lot easier just to stop at the fast food place and grab some real quick. And you do that a couple days in a row, now you're in a bad cycle. And all that plays in a role in your mental. Your energy levels have just went to shit because now you're bloated. You got all this sodium and sugar in you. You're going up and down with the moods. Where when you're eating every 3 hours, keeping good food in your home cooked food, real everything, just keeping it like, no sugars, drinking water and everything, your mood levels are going to stay stable. You're going to have so much more energy. You're going to feel young again. That's what you want to do. I respect that you're doing something and you're doing the shots, but you don't need to go that way. It's extreme because of, bad habits that got you where you are, where if you correct that bad habit right there, you won't have to go and take these other things that you have to do right now. And I just want to let anybody know out there, I did this for a living, man. Like I was a fitness model. That's what I did. I will help anybody they want. Like you come hit me up and send me a message. Anybody that's ever asked me, that's where I'm an expert. That's where I'm the guru. And I love talking about that stuff. I did this for a living and made a lot of money doing it and really changed people's life, including making pro bodybuilders and everything. You know what I mean? Everything's documenting what I did, and I would love to help anybody out. So if you guys are feeling that, or, you don't know where to start, or, the right foods to eat and all, I could just show you the basics and I can make it real simple. There's no counting calories or anything. It's learning how to eat, making your body a furnace for a living, man. And then you could enjoy food. You're not ever deprived. I'm never hungry. I eat whatever I want. If I want a cheat meal, no problem. And especially with this junk removal job, you guys, you don't understand the cardio you're getting every day. You match that up with a clean, balanced diet. Like I'm telling you right now, you will never feel better. And oh my God, your body's going to show it. And a lot of guys, you could see it in junk removal. There's a lot of guys that, stay on their fitness and just eat right. And they don't go to the gym. It's just what they're doing every day. And they look amazing. A lot of females out there in junk removal as well. So guys, I'm throwing that out there. If you guys ever want help or whatever, hit me up. I'm all about doing it the natural way and all. And then, there is one other way. Also, you guys, when you get over 35 years old, you got to go to the doctor and you got to get your blood work. And the first thing that you should be asking is run my test levels, because a lot of guys don't even realize, and it's with the science behind it, our test levels just start dropping as we get older. And what goes with lower test levels is now your estrogen levels sky high. And now you're coming like a female when she's going through a period and everything, and your moods are going up and down. You're holding water, you're bloated, you feel like shit, you have no energy and all. That's a factor of having low tests. So when you go to the doctor, if he sees that test level is low for you guys, he's going to prescribe TRT. That is a game changer. I'm telling you, a lot of guys, that will solve everything right there. All of a sudden now you got all the energy, you could hit the gym, you're seeing you're losing fat, you're burning everything. So definitely something to look into, guys. And like I said, I'm always throwing out there, I will help you guys. I don't want anything in return. I just want to help you guys out, and it's something I could give back. So all these people that help me out and show me the right way in junk removal, I'm the expert when it comes to fitness, guys. And I'll show you. I got a 6-pack year round. I eat whatever the hell I want and all that. So I'll help you guys out with that. I didn't mean to cut you off, Rudy, and all, but I was kind of upset when you went to that shot and you didn't come to me first. I'm like, bro, you could have talked to me and all, but keep doing what you're doing, man. I'm gonna help you out with that shit, bro.
Sometimes, Paul, this is for a lot of people's listening. Sometimes it's not that easy to just go into that lane and just have that much control, especially when you're running a full-time business, full-time answering the phones. And that's an excuse, because everybody should be eating right, everybody should be working out. But like what you said, people you're working out all day on that truck. Like when I go to my step app on my phone, I got over 10,000 steps, 13,000 steps easy. And if you're just drinking water, like you said, cut that Diet Coke out. You know what I mean? And you're just drinking water, and you know what I mean, just eating right. And like you'd be surprised how fast that you would drop it, and the blood pressure will go low. And you might even grow more hair. Who knows? But you know what I'm saying? It's just it'll start kicking. You'll have more energy. You'll have more positive thinking. You'll have more. You know what I mean? All that stuff that comes with it. But you have to start somewhere, and not everybody can just, you know what I mean? It's hard to, these guys are excellent in marketing, you know what I mean? How to reel you in to come to the drive-through 24 hours. And they even say, your truck will even fit in the drive-through. Don't worry. You got a dump truck. It fits to the drive-through. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? But, that's enough. You know what I mean? It's been a long day.
Well, I want to thank everybody. I love all the different topics we hit tonight. Everybody in the chat, you guys were great in the chat. Lots of questions, a lot of interactions and all. If you guys enjoyed it, please click that thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And check out everybody's channel on here. Everybody's doing their thing. Timo, are you on YouTube or any of the social media platforms?
No, I am on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I'm slacking, but I'll get there eventually. This probably was my start right here, Maybe this is the beginning of it all.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we definitely want to see more of it, bro. And it took a little while to get you on here, but it was a good thing once we had you on, man. Hell yeah, bro.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys.
Kevin, thank you for coming on tonight. Always love
Hey,
having
no
you
problem,
on here,
man.
And Mr. Yee, appreciate it. Friday, Forget About It Fridays, Unfiltered. We're going to be coming live. And then the following week, we're going to be on Mr. Yee's show. We got a special going on for that one. We'll let you guys all know about that this Friday. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a great night, everyone.
Peace.